Hello, everyone. We're here. Hello. Welcome to the RP Geeks presents Blood and Fog, a Blades in the Dark story. Oh, so cool, should be lightning, ghosts, and blood and fog everywhere. Hello, we're the RP Geeks. I'm Emily. It's nice to meet you. Shamini, you're an RP geek. Hello.
I am. I'm Shamini. She, her. It's awesome to meet you too. Wait, what's happening? No, I got confused.
I was just saying that you're one of the RP geeks, but that's absolutely fine.
Right.
I'm Emily. I'm one of the RP geeks. I use she/her pronouns. Fiona is also an RP geek. Hello, Fiona.
Yeah. Hello. It's nice to meet you guys again. It's nice that you brought me back. I love it. Yeah, my name's Fiona. I also use she/her pronouns.
Thanks for coming back.
We have someone else who's coming back to the channel. We have Lou Fryer. Hi, Lou.
Lou Fryer came back. They didn't have a terrible time. They came back.
Didn't scare me away.
Yet.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Lou. I use they, she pronouns. And I am mean green and ready to stab people.
That's what we like to hear. Clip that out of context.
No, I'm gonna. We're not doing that. No, that's not the name. That's the opposite of what I'm gonna do.
We
I'm
should
fine.
also say it's Lou's birthday today, as we are live. So I'm sure this can only go well. Let's all sing happy birthday, and I'm sure there'll be no internet issues. So ready?
I like the fact you're doing
Actually,
Everyone at home, join in, please. 3, 2, 1. Happy
birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
So good, guys.
Happy
birthday, dear
Lou.
Happy birthday to you. Yay!
People ran quiet in
Yay.
lockdown. How did they manage that?
I mean, I know there are at least 4 people who have done a lot of musical theatre on this call, so
I don't know what you're talking about.
Not over Zoom, usually.
Not normally over Zoom. And
Thanks,
also,
guys, I appreciate it.
here, you're very welcome. Happy
Hey,
birthday,
right,
Lou.
thanks.
And everyone in chat is saying happy birthday, Lou. There's lots of happy birthdays coming in.
Hi, chat.
And we also have a first-time guest of the RP Geeks, and we're so happy to have them here. Holly Musgrave.
Holly Musgrave.
That's me. I'm Holly Musgrave. I use she/they pronouns. I am so excited to be here, and I am ready to beat some people up. I'm
Yes.
so ready to beat some people up. I've been getting excited about it all week.
Holly
Thank
is
you for
going to
having
punch
me.
through the screen. and
We've
get
been like,
to us.
Holly, what's your character about? And it's all just like,
I'm gonna punch
is that,
Smash,
oh,
smash,
right,
smash.
okay.
In fact, I did manage to punch my camera over about 5 minutes ago.
Was
But
very in
we recovered.
character.
We recovered.
Yeah, it's really cool. In a really cool way.
Yeah, in a really cool way.
Yeah,
We've
badass.
made some characters. They're all really, really cool. And Shamini is dressed up as her character, as you can see.
Yeah!
One thing I just want to flag, just before we start, for the live viewers, Fiona's internet is having a little bit of a day. You know?
Yes.
They woke up and they were like, I feel like occasionally I'm just going to be a little bit of a dick.
I'm just going to choose violence.
Yeah. So we might have some imposed breaks. We might have a couple of holds, but bear with us, and we're going to get through it. And it seems okay, she says right now, as now I don't know.
You
if
just
Fiona's
said that. Yeah, I
frozen.
know. You just frozen it. Yeah, amazing.
But that's great. If you're just freezing, freezing's fine.
Okay,
and you've had
great.
your freeze now, so you know what? That's got to buy us at least in a minute. So Fiona,
Quite enough from you.
I'm going to shut up. Fiona, take it away.
All right, we'll get as far. So, hello, greetings, scoundrels from across the Imperium and beyond the Void Sea, and welcome to this first session of Blood and Fog. I'm absolutely delighted to be running this game, but I just want to do 2 things at the top before we dive right in. So, firstly, the big one is that whilst we are playing Blades in the Dark, we're actually going to be using the Deep Cut supplement for quite a lot of the rules.
And it's going to be really great. It's a newer supplement that just came out. And
Seamless.
oh no. And
It's a really good supplement that has different rules, what are good and
no,
better.
they've streamlined Blades. So if you've played Blades
really like it.
before, there were a lot of roles, a lot of extra roles to modify roles. Whereas this sort of combines it all together. It takes away dice from downtime, which is really cool. I've actually never played Blades in the Dark before, and I don't think Holly or Shamini, you have either. Lou, you're the only one who's played. So
And then we went and changed the rules, so...
Lou,
you're
I think
muted, Lou.
but
Dang. I was just going to say, yeah, I have to unlearn stuff.
Yeah.
yeah. So we're learning the cool new.
Everyone's
All those rules you
confused.
learned, they don't exist anymore.
Okay, now that is bad for the layout.
Oh
'cause,
no!
let's just quickly. Now you should be able to hear us as well over here. We're just going to be on the Zoom screen for a second. Yeah, we'll just give Fiona a little bit of time to sort her internet out. Well, before we do that, shall we talk a little bit about... Oh, I don't want to talk about our characters because you're going to meet them in a second. But maybe we... well, let's talk a bit about RPGs in general. Holly, well, how much RPG... What have you done? Tell me about your history of the RPGs.
Oh,
Yeah.
I want
We
to know
don't know
this.
you.
I've never met you before. Hi.
Yeah. How did you get in?
this is-
Do you like games?
Who let you in here?
do I like games?
Do you like games?
My partner likes to say it's Holly likes games, not Holly's good at games, which I think is really harsh.
That's Holly's
but
Twitch
yeah.
channel, which you can go and check out.
Yeah, I have a Twitch channel called Holly Likes Games. I really love games. I love TTRPGs is a huge part of that. But I also really love board games. I love tabletop games. in general, whether it's I'm playing a board game or I'm having a role playing experience. My experience with role playing games is mainly with Call of Cthulhu. And I do a lot of keeping Call of Cthulhu. I love Call of Cthulhu. But I'm also partial to a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons.
Little cheeky dungeon in your little cheeky dragon.
A little bit of Dungeons and Dragons. And then I'm also in the process of writing a scenario that I've been working for now for quite a while, which is a Thirsty Sword Lesbians campaign. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm very excited about it. And yeah, so that's, I mean, what else have I played? It's generally Call of Cthulhu and D&D. But then I've played bits of lots of lovely stuff as well that I've really enjoyed. Like I've played Honey Heist. Oh my goodness. One of my favourite role-playing experiences I've ever had was Dread. I love Dread.
I've never played it.
It's really fun. We should play it, Emily. We should
Excellent.
Let's
Let's
absolutely do
absolutely
that.
Dread is the one with the Jenga tower.
Jenga block.
Oh yes, no, I haven't
played
I wanna
Jenga.
play that.
I would
So
love
I
to get to
did-
play it on the channel, but I don't know how you would do it. You'd have to do it in person, so.
Yes. do it.
At UK Games Expo a couple of years ago, they did a live version of Dread where
Yes, they
they
did.
took
With giant Jenga.
members of the and they did it with Jenga, and then the next year they did it with Pop Up Pirate. But when they did it with
Giant
and-
pop-up pirate.
no, regular Pop Up
Oh.
Pirate. But they used members of the audience, and I was one of the members of that audience.
Wow.
Mhm.
That
And
sounds
so,
great.
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
Just
I
I decided to play a person who whose main character trait was that they won second prize in a high school gymnastics competition.
Amazing.
Aw.
Hello, Fiona.
Hello.
Are
Slightly
you okay?
different.
How's
New
the
camera
internet?
angle from Fiona.
Ooh.
It's a new camera angle because, long story short, my internet clearly has gone down, but I have my hotspot and I've got my laptop, so we're going to do it from
Let's
here.
give it a
That
go.
works.
Let's see what happens. I
Oh.
think that's
I mean,
the
I love the wall as well. We've got a whole
Thank
other
you.
angle. It looks
Yeah, you got
lovely.
the
You
whole-
look lovely.
Thank you. We'll do this from now on.
Your hair's got a golden glow in this angle.
Yeah.
Oh.
Honestly, it's stunning. It's giving.
You're
It's
a
great.
really great person. Please don't kill our characters. Yay.
Yeah.
Are we live?
Oh, we are live. Sorry, yeah, we've been live the
Okay.
whole time. Yeah, this is.
Okay,
that was
dokie.
all
That's what I
live,
just wanted
yeah.
to double check. Yeah. I
We
will kill all your
explained
characters.
we explained deep cuts.
Did we?
Fantastic.
Yeah, we
Sorta.
perfectly explained
We-
the
yeah, no, we
entirety
got
of Deep Gut.
We
Deep
knew what
Guts.
we were talking about. Don't worry, Fiona.
Wow, great.
Gotcha.
Well, I won't go into it anymore then. But yeah, all I wanted to say was that we're using the new system. It's going to be easier for us and hopefully for you people at home. And do give us a moment if we have technical difficulties, but also checking up the rules. That was the main thing I was going to say on that. And then the second thing I was going to say is that Blades of Dark is by John Harper, and it's a game about a group of scoundrels are building a criminal enterprise on the haunted streets of an industrial fantasy city. There's going to be heists, there's going to be chases, there's going to be escapes, there's going to be dangerous bargains, there's going to be bloody skirmishes, there's going to be deceptions, betrayals, victories, and deaths. So, yes, it's naturally going to be a very grim and very cruel place to be. In almost this place which is set in perpetual darkness. Essentially, it is a Victorian-era city trapped within a wall of lightning which is powered by demon blood. If that is
Normal.
not your vibe, that's fine. Please take a moment if you need to step away from the stream. All you lurks and leeches or lurkers, or lurchers, as we talked about before, out there, if you need a moment, please take a moment. Absolutely fine. Come back if and when you're ready. You're more important than us rolling dice on the table, talking our story, or even making some devil's bargains along the way. So, with all that out of the way, are we ready to dive in, my wonderful members of the Harriers, our hawkers?
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. All right then.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, you've twisted my arm.
Okay.
So, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to start off, as we're always going to start our sessions of Blades in the Dark, we're going to do something called the opening titles. This is something from the new Blade test of, playtest of Blade 68. And basically, we're going to narrate the opening titles to our story like a vintage TV show. What we're going to do, we're going to start with myself, and then I'm going to throw it to Emily, and then I'm going to throw it to Lou, then Shamini, then Holly. And what we're going to do is that we're going to take a moment. So I'm going to describe sort of the location of Duskvol, like some cool angles and shots. When I throw it to you, I want you to describe your character in a single shot, what they are doing. What's their sort of, if we saw them on an everyday thing, what are they doing? Something sort of meaningful. No audio, no sort of discussion or anything like that. It's just like how cool they look in this moment as we open on our story. So it's going to be Emily, then Lou, then Shamini, and then Holly. And I'll start, and then I'm going to go in between each of you as well to really get that vibe.
Great.
So, start off with the screen. It's in that sort of grey sort of miasma as fog, and then suddenly a a huge ship, one of these void hunter ships, the Fire and Hunters, comes out of the dark with a big sort of noise, and the music sort of starts. We have the sort of harpsichord playing as this goes into the dock of Duskvol itself. We have people throwing things off the ship in terms of like bags, people getting on and off. It's a hive of activity as these dock workers start to go to work. I'm going to hand it over to Emily to introduce where we go next on this sort of shot. The shot pins over to your character.
I think the shot sort of starts winding its way through some streets and goes through into a very grand building, a sort of clock tower on the front. And as it goes into a lecture theatre. And it zooms past the professor, up the seats and rows and banks of students scribbling notes, where you see at the very back a black sharp cut bob that sort of flicks out at the ends, very high neck, frilly collars, buttoned up, laced up boots, little pleated skirt, and skin that looks like cracked porcelain. You see one of these students sat there scribbling what looks like notes until the camera slowly pans onto them, and you see they are drawing these symbols in red, and they are these sort of strange cult-like symbols. And I think we'll leave it there.
Perfect. The camera turns back and we go out through another window, and we do that horrible sort of lurch jump down into the street, what we will now come to know as Silk Shore, this incredible district of vices and dens, sort of crisscrossed with all these sort of canals. We go through like gondola after gondola with all these lights as these sort of purveyors looking up, trying to find the food stall that they want or the vice den that they're looking for. We sort of go through with bang, 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 and we end up. The camera goes towards Lou's character. Where do we find your character, Lou, in the montage?
Camera pans up a set of stairs and goes to a grand, what used to be a grand doorway flanked by two pillars, but it's very dilapidated and the sign is falling off the walls. But when you enter the door, you see walls of books that go from floor to ceiling and a grand staircase that goes up to what's clearly more books. However, the camera doesn't go there. The camera goes down a small back staircase into a basement area, still full of books, but the floor has been cleared and a sheet has been put down on the floor. And you see a man strapped to a chair with a figure standing over him. The figure has slicked back white hair and is wearing a lab coat, and the man has a large stick in his mouth and he's gritting his teeth against the pain as the figure yanks a shard of glass out of his shoulder.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very, very cool. And again, the camera sort of swiftly turns and we follow... we follow the footsteps. People, you see like an individual that's got big boots on, so it goes through a puddle, and they sort of go up towards this huge lightning tower in Barrow Cleft. It's sort of it's clearly been like testing, and you see someone with huge goggles, like hair, and a huge big sort of rubber suit trying to change something at the bottom, with their sort of partner behind them with a huge, almost like a crook, essentially ready to ground them and pull them back should they get shocked. We hear the sparks. Well, we don't hear the sparks, but we see that reflected in the goggles themselves. And then the camera pans over to Shamini Bundell. Shamini, introduce your character in this montage.
Spin cut to the outside of a quite swanky looking restaurant, and then zoom cut. Suddenly we're in a back room filled with people laughing, smiling. You see a young man with a flamboyant shirt, a very expensive neckerchief, sort of voluminous black hair, drinking wine, calling for more, and on the table just a scattering of lots of little plates of strange, exotic-looking delicacies.
Beautiful, beautiful. You see them sort of, again, these plates sort of go, and then again, the camera whoosh, goes out. We go down a couple of the sewers. We see rats skittering away, and we come up to a very quiet, almost serene scene. We see individuals, acolytes, sort of in prayer, bowing in front of statues of the Night Queen, sort of like, again, a forgotten god of this particular district that we are in. You see them in prayer, this sort of devotion in these sort of the devotees' eyes, and almost the tear starts to come down a pool and it drips off their cheek. And then we finally spin around and head towards Holly. Can you introduce your character into this montage?
Yeah. the camera zooms away from that beautiful peace and quiet, and into a tavern. But it doesn't stop there. It keeps going into the back, where there is a door that only opens and shuts occasionally, downstairs into an underground fighting ring, where you see someone with their taped fists by their face, but they're hardly paying attention to the fight. They seem kind of low to the ground, but they're not small. It's actually that their knees are kind of always bent and ready. And as punch after punch is pummeling their face, their body, they hardly seem to be clocking that, because they're watching the people who are coming in and out of the ring. And as they've waited to see that last person who's come in, clocked it, they turn around and they do a single jab to the head of their competitor, knock them out flat, and walk out of the ring, wiping their face.
We sort of see that sort of almost slow-mo Sherlock Holmes sort of style, like you hit and the impact goes in this person's face. And then again, the camera spins around again and we see face after face of every sort of like character, each of your characters, in fact, we sort of split between them. And then suddenly the camera goes shooting up into the sky and we see this incredible skyline of Duskvol, this haunted city. And as the fog starts to coalesce and come up towards the camera, we have a little title that comes up and it says Blood and Fog, Blazed in a Dark Story, Chapter 1, Tiny Dark Deeds.
Ooh.
That
We
down.
didn't know that.
It is 1:15 the hour of honor on the 40th day of Siren, and Duskvol, our haunted city, is gently blanketed in a thick fog. A fog that obscures street and lantern light, making it so difficult that one can barely see their own hand moving in front of their face. Now, most people, habitually at this time, will take a break, preferring to stay indoors with a nice cup of tea and wait out this sightless hour which happens every single day in the city. But you, however, are not most people. As a newly established crew of vice dealers, you have been very proactive in what could only be described as meeting the neighbours, sizing up the competition. Admittedly, things started off a bit heatedly as you set up your sales territory in Silkshore and encroached on the Wraith's hunting grounds, a group of masked thieves who deal with luxury stolen items. You decided to make an impact and swing big and not pay them off. And this caused ripples through the district and through the other factions. Not all the crews dislike you, though. Through various connections and previous jobs, you are on friendly terms with the ink rakes, the press and journalists who hang around in Ink Lane, and possibly a bit more obscure, but no less intimidating, the Dimmer Sisters. Housebound aristocratic spirit trader recluses, it says on their card. But right now, at 1:15 the hour of honor on the 40th day of Siren, we find ourselves in Crow's Foot, a sort of crossroads district, merging many of the qualities of its neighbouring districts, the sort of illicit vices of Silkshore, the labour and trade of the docks, the poverty of Char Hollow, and the classic architecture of Chartered Hall. The four of you are currently stood in the cramped office of the Lamp Black leader, Bazos Baz. And this office overlooks the coal warehouse, which is happening below. Surrounding you are several of his thugs. They're just hanging about, but very clearly armed to the teeth and are sizing you up. Now, from what you know of the Lamp Blacks from your contact, was it Lydra, I believe her name was? Yes. Your vice dealer contact has put you in some little meetings and appointments to, get to know people. And the Lamp Blacks, from what she told you, they are a former lamp lighters guild who turned to crime when, unfortunately, their services were, let's say, reduced somewhat by the electric lights. They are a fearsome gang of leg breakers and mayhem makers. And more importantly, she said that they are at war with another rival crew called the Red Sashes. This is a small contingency of Eruvian master sword fighters. Now, what she has gathered from this event is that a man named Roderick, who was the ward boss in Crow's Foot, has been killed. And rumors say that his second in command was the one that did it. And she now controls a gang called the Crows. Roderick had a big part in brokering the peace between the Lamp Blacks and the Red Sashes. And with his death, that has fallen apart, and an open war is happening between the two gangs currently. You could say you could cut the tension in the streets with a knife. Bazos, the leader of the Lamp Blacks, sits back in his chair, a very well put together man with a very well put together smile with a gold tooth. He presses his fingers together. He waits a moment before... I'm still, waiting on an answer. Are you with us, or are you against us in our fight for Crow's Foot? And the camera spins, and we see the four of your characters. In any order, I'd like you to introduce what is your character doing in this very, very moment. And if they say anything...
I think my character, Alistair, if he can get away with it, is probably cheekily like leaning a bum on the desk. I don't know how that's going to go down, but I think he's sort of lounging.
One of many.
A bum, one of my several fine bums, what I keep for just such an occasion of when I want to do any lounging. And he's doing a very good job of looking like he's pondering. But it's all a little bit like not beneath him, but he's not that interested in it.
Okay, fair enough.
I think the doll is standing very still, staring forward at this man, hands sort of crossed in front of her, and just sort of slightly tilting her head and sort of looking into his eyes very intently and barely blinking, but doesn't say anything.
So when she does that,
I think Cuff is probably looking between these two characters so far that have been introduced, especially looking at the doll. And Cuff is probably just exasperated by the kind of shows on display, this kind of show of pride, this intensity coming from the doll as well. And she probably just rubs kind of this short black hair that she's got kind of between her hands, is looking at the thugs in the corner, kind of sizing them up a little. It's too many of them probably. Looks to the leader and says, I guess it depends what's in it for us.
That moment, the final figure, Dr. Arison Penderin, who is standing perfectly still with clearly practiced poise. And they turn to Cuff and say, well, I find generally that breaking legs is good for business. My business, anyway.
The question is, which legs? And I look back to the leader to see how he responds to that.
I will say, Bazos Baz, so good he's been named twice, is definitely looking at the three of you that aren't currently sat on his desk. He's ignoring whatever is going on over there.
Fair.
And he says, well, see, here's the thing. If you're with us, it means I can maybe get you around, get you a few contacts and stuff. And if you're not, well, that's a shame, but I will not likely, I'll tell you to piss off out of my office.
Oh no,
And,
whatever would we do?
Well, if I see you trying to do anything in Crow's Foot, maybe I'll be bad and You talking about leg breaking? We're quite good at that, aren't we, boys? And there's like a general sort of like as general goons and thugs sort of agree. As Cup is quite right.
The other lot got swords, though, don't they? Stabby. I don't know.
Stabbing's scarier than breaking.
It is a bit, yeah. It is a bit. I suppose I would be interested in whether, you know, we are obviously honourable business people. What can get a variety of things. Just wondering whether you would have good use for those kind of things. More use, perhaps more business than the other lot.
Sounds like people that are going against those with swords might need stitches.
They say the pen is mightier than the sword. If you agree, I have a little job for you, which will, if in your interest, I hear coin will do. And he sort of looks to one of the thugs at the back, who comes forward and has like almost what looks like a little briefcase. Sets it down. Baz puts his hand on the briefcase quite protectively and goes, I need a yes or no if you're with us or against us. Yes? You get what's inside the suitcase. No? I tell you to piss off.
What's inside the suitcase?
Are you with us or against us?
What's inside the
Harrison
suitcase?
puts a hand on Alistair's shoulder.
Alistair's like, as soon as the suitcase came out, Alistair's just like drooling slightly and just like slides back onto the desk.
If he goes to put a hand on it, the hand is just going to slightly go down as like, and we're not touching right now.
All right.
I think Cuff's gonna stand up. I think probably she was crouching, or maybe sat on like a little stool. And I think she's gonna stand up, and she's not particularly big, but she's going to stand at her full height and walk up to Bazos and just measure herself against him.
I love it.
He's currently sat down and he's not moving. You sort of come up.
So very
Just look-
short.
Shamini,
Great,
you're
good.
really loud. If you could turn
Sorry,
yourself down,
I'm
thanks.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
good.
I have
Yeah,
listened to you,
yeah,
but you're
That's
not
a bit
listening.
better. Sorry. No, I
That's right,
turned
yeah.
it down over a
It's all good. It's all good. Yeah, as Cuff, you sort of come up. He doesn't like take anything, but there definitely is a fear. Like you could see the tension in the moon changes. He doesn't move. The thugs do move. If you proceed to go to this person, you might get restrained by the thugs. Do you wish to continue?
No, I think as soon as I notice that the thugs are moving, I'm just gonna like do a kind of nonchalant loop and walk up to the thugs actually and just kind of give them a nice, really friendly smile and just start measuring myself up against them.
Sure. Baz sort of takes a moment, sees this, and goes, I take your lack of a definite no as a yes. Spins round the suitcase and flicks open each of the buckles and opens it. And inside, all of you can see there is what looks like a lot of padding, maybe some bit of foam or a bit of sawdust or something like that. But what you can see is these sort of 5 small stoppered vials. And in each vial, as he picks one up and you see it by sort of the lantern light, it looks very much like a dirty sort of like liquid. It moves with the viscosity? I can't remember the
Viscosity.
Science there. Yeah, I can't even say it, but you know what I'm talking about. But it moves like as if very like water. But as he sort of moves it and then shakes it, you can see that it starts to like sort of spin like a tiny little storm, and little sparks appear like attaching the sides.
Is that what I think it is?
This is spark. He puts one down. It is to the market, but seawater mixed with pure electroplasm.
Fascinating.
Gives a bit of a shock to the system. Yes. I have these 5 vials, and I would... Unfortunately, my attention has been somewhat distracted by the ongoing, war effort. I need these 5 vials sold before dawn.
That's very soon.
It is 12 hours.
Is
Do
this
you
your
have a
entire
buyer?
supply?
I don't. Well, this is where you come in. If you are able to sell these 5 vials after my cut, you keep the rest. I
Is your
hear you
entire
are
supply?
wanting to prove yourself.
Is this your entire
Sorry, I didn't
supply?
catch that. Maybe. Maybe there'll be more coming in soon, and maybe we can start an arrangement.
I'd be academically interested in seeing the effects of this elixir of
Well,
yours.
would you like to buy some? That'll be easy. That's 1 gone. You're already a fifth of the way there.
I think you should throw an extra one in, even a half dose as a little bonus for a job well done. If we can shift these 5.
That sounds ideal. If you shift these 5 vials before dawn tomorrow, not only do you get a cut of the money sold, I'll make sure I do a nice special one just for you, Doc.
I'd appreciate it, and it'll be easy because people are stupid and want to put things in their body that they shouldn't.
I don't care who you sell this to, as long as it doesn't come back to me or the lamp blacks. Understood?
Perfectly.
Right.
All right. He puts the vial he was showing back in the thing and shuts the suitcase, and then takes his hand off that someone can pick it up.
I'm just gonna walk forward, grab it, walk away as if I've never even seen him. Just walk straight out of the
Perfect.
building.
All right, we shift. So you have your mission. Baz has given you a suitcase full of a new drug, and he wants it shifted. What he's told you is that there's 5 vials, and they are quite profitable, but he doesn't want any connection going back to him. So we're going to go into the tiniest bit of planning at this point. Now, normally in Blazing Dark, we do planning off the... We're not going to do any planning in character right now. We're not going to say what we're doing, but I'm going to do a few things just to set us up. So we're going to firstly pick our operation type, basically. So normally there's like 6 options of what we can do. I'm going to tell you what these options are, and when we pick it, we're going to then pick the detail of it. So you know what the plan is. You need to sell these things in the next 12 hours. And then we can go from there whether you want to gather some information and stuff. But once we have the ideas of a plan, we're going to roll for the engagement and then cut straight to the heist. So the 6 options in terms of what kind of plan we have are assault, which I don't think is going to be the case here, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. Do any of those, like that type of plan, so I will go into them in a bit of detail. So assault talks about doing violence to a target. Deception is lure, trick, or manipulate. Stealth is trespass unseen. Occult is to engage in a natural superpower. Social is negotiate, bargain, or persuade. And transport is to carry cargo or people through danger.
It feels like social.
It does, I would say.
So with social, the detail I would need from you is a social connection. So how are you going about this through, like, how are you getting rid of this drug through your social means? And this is where we sort of come above the table to talk about, you know, your connections, or if you want to go, oh, well, we can go back to Silkshore, that's where our grounds are, maybe we can do it there. I'd also say that you have, because of your ability as well, your crew ability, is the ghost market. So you have ways to sell things to ghosts and other spirits around. Yes. What are we thinking?
Can you just quickly repeat what he said it was, because your internet was a little fuzzy at the time?
Of course. So the actual drug he's given you is something called Spark. It is like seawater with like a shock of pure electroplasm. Essentially, think of it as the Victorian era of an energy drink, but with unknown consequences, is how I'm seeing it. Like one of those energy shots.
Okay, great.
My initial thoughts is I'd probably know quite a lot of people who would be interested in using this in terms of from a fighting for sport and entertainment kind of thing. That's kind of my first thought with it, but I think you guys might also have connections to people who could use it as well.
My connections probably aren't, my personal ones aren't particularly relevant for this one, I don't think. But obviously if we did want to go the ghost market way, then maybe I could come into play there. But we've also got Lydra.
We can't hear you, Shamini, for some reason. I can see you. Sorry.
Oh, that's because I turned me down. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yes. My gut and my first instinct, I think that using cuffs contacts is a good idea. But my gut would be to look into hospital administration records, patient records, and see people who have been admitted for drug-related problems, with problems with addiction, because they're likely to be easy targets.
Evil.
Terrifying,
Evil.
terrifying and genius.
Pure evil. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
That sounds good, though. Yeah, so either of those could work. Is there a strong pull for one or the other, I guess? Because time is of the essence. I'd say with the hospital stuff, it sounds like you would be gathering some information there, so that's something that you can do. With the cuffs connections, it sounded like with sort of fighting, like those connections. Is that what you were thinking there?
Yeah,
Cuff?
yeah.
It might be less. You might not be needing to gather information about that because you know who those people are, whereas you don't with the doctors. The only thing I'd say, but so you can do both, but just remember there is a time's of the essence with this. That's the only thing I would say.
I like the selling it to some professional fighter types. I feel like
Might get repeat customers there.
I feel like they'd go.
So it's going to make the show probably very entertaining. The fighting show. Really cool.
Absolutely. Okay. What's the social connection then, Cuff? Who are we using for this?
I think my friend Marlene, who is somebody I've fought with a lot before. She was somebody that I fought with like when I first started fighting. And kind of was a bit of a rival, but we've become closer. She now manages one of the rings, and would probably be kind of somebody who would maybe think about either her buying this stuff or anybody else that she could talk to who might be interested in buying it to get an advantage.
Nice. So
in any kind
maybe
of fights.
then maybe getting a meeting with her and trying to convince her a little bit. Right, and she'd probably be working tonight, so then you could probably do a demonstration of it in action. I like it. Okay. Unless you guys say otherwise, I don't think you need to do any other in terms of gathering information. Obviously, if there is, we can come to it. I think this is a good plan. It sounds like it. So we're going to do the engagement. Well, yeah, we'll do the engagement for first, and then we'll do later. So, Cuff, because you've come up with this plan. I need you. We're going to do first. We're going to get you get a D6 for just sheer luck. This is basically us talking about how good this is. Oh, yeah, Emily, go for it.
Oh no, this is me. I'm counting D6s.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like, I have a question.
No, it's one, and then if we have another one, I'll do two. Yeah.
Excellent. So we're going to go through and see if we can modify this a little bit. So is the operation particularly bold or daring? I don't think it is. I think you're very comfortable where you are, so you don't take another D6. Is it overly complex or contingent on many factors? I don't think so either. I think you're straightforward. You know someone. It's all pretty good. Does the plan expose a vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? I would say it's not vulnerability, but there's probably something that would, again, you talked about the idea of a show and previously enough. I think that's something that they would want. So I'd get another D6 on that. Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? I don't think so. I think you know your way in. It's just a Cuff. What's wrong with Cuff? All that stuff. So that's fine. Any of your friends' contacts provide aid or insight. Well, you're going to your contact, so that's another D6. Are there any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? Not yet. I don't think so. I think you're in a good position here currently. And any other elements you want to consider? I think the only thing I would say you would consider is that the wraiths are in Silkshore themselves, and you've not paid them off. And so I think they're going to be watching you guys a little bit. So as a result of that, I'm going to take 1d6 out of that pool. So you're currently on 2d6.
Nice.
All right. Before you roll, I'm going to say something, and I'm going to get you to do it just now. But basically, it's something called loadout. So before we go on to this heist, this mission, I want you to choose your kind of loadout. So in Deep Cuts, it's slightly more simplified. You have discreet loadout, and you have conspicuous loadout. We don't have equipment in. You just have it when you know you need it. Discreet is 4 slots, no heavy items, and conspicuous is you have 6 slots. You can have heavy items. If you want to have a think about what items you want to take, that's absolutely fine. But you need to choose your load up before we start. So either
we
4
say it?
or 6.
Or do we?
You can if you'd like. I'm just going to go off the gut, but I just wanted to say that before we go into it, in case we comes up.
You got it.
I've written mine down.
All right, I'll trust you on that. All right, we'll go back to that engagement roll. So, Cuff, I need you to roll those 2d6 and let me know what the highest result is.
The highest result is a 5.
5. So it's a mixed result. You're in a risky position when the action starts. So, I think, actually, where do we find our crew? Where is Marlowe, I think, when you're coming for this meeting? So I think we're just going to start in the middle of the action. Cuff, can you set us up for this, please?
So I'm picturing it as as a wrestling ring, almost. But before the show starts, there are a few people kind of in slacks around. They're not ready to fight yet. You know, some people drinking water, some people kind of sparring in the ring very gently. And Marlene is just standing in one of the corner poles, watching, kind of giving tips, you know, kind of occasionally turning around as well to kind of shout instructions to somebody about where the chairs should be or where the drinks are going to come from. And it's in this, it's underground, it's underneath a tavern. It's kind of it's one of these areas in the city that is a place that's not meant to be here, but everybody knows it's there. But technically it's illegal. Because it is a place where a lot of this kind of illicit stuff would ordinarily happen. But she's you know, loudly, proudly dishing out instructions and you know, giving tips as everyone's kind of in their green room clothing, ready for the night, I think.
Nice. So it sounds like you're already there in the ring itself, and you can see this individual, Marlene, giving out stuff. I think the issue is that it's quite a rowdy night. This is the mixed result I'm bringing in here. It's quite hard to hear over the shouting. So she's clearly not got and the schedule, as you can see, is absolutely packed. You're going to have to do something to really get her attention for her to stop what she is doing at this point. You can see, like, again, you've got the boards up of the different odds, and fights are going on. This sort of wrestling ring sort of action is happening. You don't know if you've got time to take her to the side and like have a discreet conversation. You might need to be a bit more bold in that. That is the risk you're in. But you're all there inside the ring at this point, and you can see this. And what I'm going to say to you now, this is where things can start happening. This is where I'm going to tell you, the scoundrels, this, you know, you have to get rid of these 5 vials. Whether it's to the same person or to different people is up to you. But you've got, I think now, probably about 8 hours. You know, you've taken some time to get in, and also leaves time for flashbacks if we need to. Let's go. Who's doing what? Let's go.
I think
feel like-
Joel... Oh, sorry. Go on, you go.
I feel like I would turn to you guys and go, let me handle Marlene. I don't know, my accent's changed. I'm going to go back to my original voice.
We've all been there.
Overcome. She's like, who am I? I don't know. She goes, let me handle Marlene. I'll get us an in. Make some friends. They're not bad people, promise. And I'm going to make my way to the ring.
Okay.
I think the doll
What are the rest of you
will...
doing?
The doll would be wearing a very, almost a veil over their face, and will sort of dressed very much in black, and will sort of stick to the edges, but will just start patrolling round, keeping an eye on the people fighting and looking for anyone who continuously is doing badly in their warm-ups or seems to be the punching bag for anyone in particular.
Nice.
I was going to say something similar. I was going to look on the board and look at the odds and see who's got the odds stacked against them.
I like that. What about you, Where? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go make some friends.
Nice. Tell you what, let's go to that scene right now.
Yep.
How are you making friends?
I'm a lovely and charming fella, and if there were maybe a bar here,
Oh yeah, of course there is.
perhaps,
Yeah.
me and whatever they have that looks delicious, we'll look for some fellow enjoyers of delicious beverages.
Yeah, you can see at the bar, all the bar like bottles. You can see actually they are sort of brown bottles, and the casks behind them. They look pretty as if they've been there for a time. You suspect there's been some home brewing going on in here, and there's definitely a stench of that sort of very yeasty sort of like smell. You can see there's a couple of people like are at the bar like shouting into the ring. You've got certain individuals. There's probably one guy with a big fat cap, just sort of like looking into his bottle a little bit, looking a little bit forlorn, a bit sad.
Oh, okay. I will slide over, position myself next to him, turn around, survey the room.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'll say, casually as if to myself, I got all this money to bet on, and I got no idea who's good, who's bad. I need a lucky charm. I'm going to turn around and look at him. You look.
Me.
Something about you.
Oh.
Something very special about you.
Oh. Me.
I would like to flashback.
We'll do one thing at a time. We'll do that in a second. Hang on, I want to finish
It's
the
going
scene.
it's related.
I will finish. Shamini, what are you trying to do? So you're trying to survey. I just want to check that's what you're planning on
No.
doing.
No, it's not that.
Okay.
That was a fake. That was a distraction.
Oh, you faked me.
That was just
Damn it.
part of my fiendish
Okay.
fooling plan.
That's fine. That's fine. I was going to check. Okay. Doctor, what are we flashing back to?
I would like to flash back to a conversation that Arison had earlier on with Alistair.
Mm-hmm.
Once we had finished at the warehouse earlier, I think we went back to our lair, and I started immediately looking into electroplasm and looking into some of its properties so that I know that Alistair is a talker and is likely to be able to ingratiate themselves into this, thing, all kinds of people from walks of life. And basically I want to do some research to give him some ammunition of the sort of things that he might be able to say to sound like he knows what he's talking about.
Sure. Okay.
Because he doesn't.
Perfect. Again, yeah, I think for this, we'll do your flashback. Is there anything that you say to Alistair particularly on this? Well, I'd say for the cost of his flashback, it's going to be 2 stress. That's usually what the cost of a flashback is. And Alistair, as a result, will get a bonus effect on their die roll when it happens. But yeah, what is it that you say to Alistair in this moment? And this is me giving you creative liberty to add stuff about Spark.
Okay, thank you. Ooh, the power.
Creative liberty? Oh my goodness.
It seems from the harried amount of reading that I've managed to do in this very short pace of time that we've been given, that electroplasm, especially when mixed with a secondary component, creates impulse reactions in the synapses. It makes reactions quicker, but it can have side effects. Please do not mention these. But it can cause muscles to spasm. However, it can make reflexes and even thought processes incredibly fast. So it can make somebody make their decisions and their movements quicker. Please focus on those things. Leave out the spasms. We do not want them. This is not really a selling point. And if you need to, if you I feel like you're losing them, and you need a more authoritative voice in your conversation, then I can come and, back you up, I suppose. But do try to do this by yourself.
You'll be my
The least
secret
time I can
weapon.
spend chatting is
I
making
I
small
will
talk.
only bring you out in an emergency situation, Doc.
It would be appreciated.
I just get your little voice in my ear, telling me all the smart things to say. That's the way it works.
Okay, we flash
Really
forward.
focus on those reactions.
We flash forward to this moment.
Got it.
You've the Doc's words are in your ears at this point. I would like you to make for me. I feel like this is a sway roll. Unless you have something else. As always with the new deep cuts, this is a standard, risky, and because of the Doctor, I think it's going to have a greater effect as a result. So you get greater outcome from this. However, I have to tell you what the consequence is if you fail. And you just said, "I've got all this money, and I don't know who to put it on."
Yeah.
Didn't say that.
Very loudly.
Say that.
Yeah.
And I think you've perked. If you fail, if you get a consequence, people will have heard that and might come over to take that money off you.
No.
I mean, I don't have any money. That
Well.
helps. They might
That money that you have.
just get
All right,
slightly mugged for nothing. It'd be great.
So you've got what have you
okay.
got in sway? Your action.
I've got 2 points, pips, dots,
Oh.
thingies this way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so this is going to
Sway.
be
Swayful.
a definition of the threat roll. So you're going to roll those 2d6, and I said it's a risky move. And let me know what the highest die is. Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
There's a
Here
greater
we go.
consequence as a result.
Do I get anything for the flashback?
You're going to
No,
get a
that's the
greater
effect. Yeah,
consequence.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
so the effect of it. Yeah.
Oh, 6.
Amazing. Very good. So yeah, so you sort of like do your sort of thing going, I need a lucky charm, I need something. And the guy sort of hiccups slightly and slides down behind him. Looks like a bit more with it individual.
Thanks, Fiona.
Who sort of is perked up and goes, "Oh well, if you really want a lucky charm," and sort of points over to the wrestling ring itself, and you see an individual who looks a bit bloodied, and I think those people who've gone around the outside will see this on the board as well. So I'll tie this into you guys in a second. You see an individual, a big woman, very broad, her hair done up in a bun sort of thing, and he goes, "That's the bull. She is as hard as a brick house, but she gets knocked down, she gets back up again, but nothing defeats her. So I'd wager all my money on her, to be honest with you. Be a rare sight to see her fall at any point."
I don't want to take the easy win. I want something with a bit of risk. Something where the odds are stacked against me. Make that victory all the sweeter. Who's she fighting?
Oh, well, you see next up, and you sort of, again, this nameless narrator sort of moves over, points to a much smaller individual. This person, concealed in their gender, looks a little sort of, again, sort of a bit skinnier perhaps, sort of like batting up a little bit, clearly quite nervous. So it's their first time. That's the spoon.
That's the
Poor spoon.
that's the name they went with. The
I mean, it's the
spoon.
last one that wasn't trademarked. It
Really?
might have been the only thing that Fiona could see on her desk that wasn't an animal.
Well,
Just
you know
cuddles
what?
people from behind.
Yeah.
I've got a mate called the doll. She's actually much scarier than
Oh, maybe you could
Might
put her
be.
up then.
yeah.
Nothing. No one ever beats the bull.
It's not a bad idea actually. So I like that. I like that.
But we flick back over. We'll go to the Cuff. Cuff, you're sort of making your way to Marlene at this point. You can see she's looking quite harried. Like, again, busy. She's popping off, and she sees you. She's like, "Ow, Cuff!" and sort of does the whole grab your arm sort of thing. How you doing? You want to cheeky in? You want a surprise guest appearance?
Do I want to fight for no reason? For no money? No, thank you, Marlene.
Oh, thought I'd try.
Well, thank you for that. But actually, I'm here to bring, hopefully, you some money tonight. I know there's betting amongst these circles, and I just thought I had an opportunity, and I wanted to
Yeah.
give back more than anything.
Ow.
You've helped me so much.
Wow.
I'd give back by fighting for you any night you want.
Right. Yeah.
But I have something interesting that you might be interested in.
Right. And she sort of leans in quite close, as if you're sort of, and like sort of like mwah, mwah, sort of doing these sort of kisses.
Yeah.
She went, I hope it's not the new drugs that are circulating.
Oh.
Because, well, as a policy now, people prefer clean, nice fighting.
Well, of course, people prefer nice fighting, but they don't know what they want till they see it, do they, Marlene? And I know that competition's been fierce recently. Look, my opinion is it's better with it. Creates interesting stakes. There's no reason anyone would ever have to know. Is there?
Ooh. Feels like to me here, you're again trying to sway, perhaps, or maybe consort. Maybe you're doing because you know this person quite well. I feel this is quite desperate because she's just suddenly said to you, "This there's a new policy about drugs," and you've sort of gone against it. So it's a desperate position that you're in just now.
The policy.
Policy.
We're here trying to do crime, and there's a policy.
It is against the law to do them. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I flash back to help?
Describe your flashback. What are you helping with?
I think we flash back to earlier in the day, and before they go in, the doll goes in, no veil, and goes up to Marlene and goes, "Your soul. There's an opportunity coming. You must not miss it." And then just turns and walks away.
Wow. Okay.
It's beautiful.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. Take 2 stress.
Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. I'm going to change that. It's no longer a desperate situation as a result of that. That's really clever. So yes, it's now just a normal standard one. So it's consort still. What have you got in consort?
Got 1 die in consort.
Okay. So you're still going to roll 1d6. What I would say is the consequence of this is that if you fail, she will chuck you out and you will not be able to come back to this wrestling ring as a result because you've gone against her policy. But you're in a better position than you were. So it's no longer the desperate one where you have to get a 6.
Yeah.
So just roll a d6. And if you don't make it, remember we've got pushed yourself as well. So we've got that as well.
And I can push afterwards, right?
You have to push afterwards with the new rules, yeah.
It's a 5.
A 5. Okay, so that's just mixed results. She looks into your eyes. She went, "You know, there was a weird thing that happened today. It's opportunity. Look, I can't. If you look, you're right. The other fighting pits and stuff. They are they've got younger, fresher fighters. They've got all razzmatazz and stuff. I need to see in action. So maybe if you can put in a performance yourself or get one of the other fighters to have a go, then maybe we can talk." So the consequence that you're getting is that she's not willing to take it off you straight away. She needs proof of it. What that means is that you're definitely going to have to lose one of the things. She's not going to take it off your hands, so you're going to have like only 4 to sell, which means a reduce in profit. What I would say is that if you want to bump that consequence, if you want to reduce that consequence a little bit, we do something called push yourself, which is you roll an attribute check. So you take some stress instead, but the consequence won't be as bad. So it's up to you. In this case, I think, let me just double check, the attribute would be, I think it's not insight, it's the other one at the bottom. Sorry. Resolve. Yes.
I mean, my feeling thematically is that coming into the ring, Cuff's probably got a bit of FOMO. And honestly, probably as soon as she saw the spark, was like, that'd be great for fighting.
Yeah.
And she's probably sizing up the bull that she doesn't know is the bull yet in the ring and being like, you know what, I reckon I could take her, especially if I had some spark.
Yeah.
I don't think she wants to spend the stress. I think she's happy with the consequences a little bit.
Great. Perfect.
Yeah.
So come back to the moment. She goes, "I need to see an action." And then she sees that look in your eye and goes, "I mean, I can bump the next match if you want to go in, but you have to prove it."
You know what, Marlene? Seeing as it's you, I'll do you a solid.
Hey, all right, and then starts like clicking at people and getting like suddenly the boards are getting wiped. You see this where looking at you like the change is happening, and you're like, did I do that by just willing it into the world, like pointing it at people? Who knows? Let's go to the doctor, if that's all right. So you were looking. What were you doing before? You were looking, seeing people on the outs, like trying to find sort of weak fighters and stuff like that. What were you thinking?
Yeah,
Doctor?
I was basically kind of scoping out because they're not really a talker,
No.
but they are definitely an observer and
Yeah.
someone who can. So I think that they are looking at the boards, paying attention to which ones have got the poorest odds. Maybe making some notes, seeing if they can match up people with names so that they can push them in, depending on how the next bit goes, either push them in Cuff's direction to sort of be like, hey, look what I've just done and this is what you can do too, or in Alistair's direction to be sweetened up.
I feel like what you're sort of doing perhaps, again, to give it a little bit of some action, is that maybe you're actually talking, or at least sort of like conversing, again, maybe it's more of a montage sort of thing, that you're talking to the fighters that have just been beaten by the bull. And it's like, you're sort of like, you see that you're maybe tending to some injuries and stuff like that, and you sort of like, well, you know, and again, maybe beefing up, like, well, you should see, you know, maybe again, this plan that couple's always going to go in, maybe was the case, and you're just like, well, you should see, you know, this new thing, it really invigorates you, that sort of thing. Maybe that's what you're thinking of. In that case, I would suggest you are also, well, again, we don't want to always do resolve and stuff. I think actually let's do something else. We'll do you a study. How's that? How does study sound? So you again looking around to see who you're gonna sort of pick up and maybe get them to watch a fight. And
I like the idea of like of possibly when people come out of the ring.
Yes,
I can just sort of tend to some.
You're picking
wounds
marks.
And have,
yes.
I have a bit of a chat.
Perfect. All right, so that's.
Okay,
I feel that's a study.
Yes. Okay, I have 2 in study.
Okay, I would say what I would say as your consequence. This is just again standard. The consequence is if you don't do well, you don't really find anyone else. People sort of shy away. They sort of go away to lick their own wounds. So you don't really find any other people that will be taking up on your product afterwards. So no more sort of clients is what I'm saying for that. Okay. So yeah, roll your study.
That's a 5.
5, excellent. So you do manage to get a couple of people around. They sort of not as many as you would hope, maybe 2 or 3. You certainly get Spoon in there, who seems like a bit lanky and stuff. You also have people like the Noodle, who's just like a stringy, like little.
I wonder
little
the
guy.
bull keeps winning.
All right.
The
You also
string
have
bean.
you have the string bean. You also have like
Could
the
ship
bee
them as a
as
couple
well.
and they could be Spoodle.
Spoodle.
Shit.
There you go. Yeah. You also have like maybe the Hornet as well, an aggressive looking fighter. Again, it was very, very quick, but again, the bull just one big hit with, again, sorry, I'm mixing boxing and wrestling, but one big sort of down and 3-2-1, and the Hornet is no longer out. So you managed to get them on side too. Again, they're a bit tense and sort of not really paying attention to you, Doctor, but you're like, oh, you should wait. You should, you're trying to get them in and encourage them a little bit. It's that sort of bedside manner you have, I think, from that. But they're definitely a little bit distracted, so the effect isn't as good as it could be. But you have people there. I just want to check in with the doll, because you're also looking around doing stuff. You've had your flashback. I was wondering, what else are you thinking in this fight? As you see Cuff, I think everyone now is seeing Cuff getting ready to go.
Right, and I think as I see that, could I please go over to the bull?
Absolutely, you can go over the bull. Yeah, this is a break in the fight. This big woman, she sort of undoes her bun, her hair flows down. She just like wrings it out, and just sweat goes everywhere. And she's sort of like washing herself in a little bucket. She looks up at you.
And the doll will pull out a notepad and a pen. Just go, hello, I'm here from the paper, and I was just wondering if we could do a quick pre-match interview. You're obviously going to win, and we're just all so excited to see you fight today.
All right. What do you want to know?
When did you start fighting?
Years ago.
And How does it feel knowing there's so much loss in your future?
What?
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, I'm not meant to say it. I'm sorry. It's just sometimes the ghosts, they start talking to me, and I get very confused. I'm sure you'll win. Sorry, I'm meant to be writing a piece about your last match, and I'm not I've done it again. I'm so sorry. No,
Huh?
it's not. I'm sure it's not going to be your last. I'm sure you're going to do just fine.
Interesting. I feel.
I love this so much.
I'm just trying to
this
throw
is-
her off.
Yeah, no. I see it. What action do you think you're doing? I'm going to hand it over to you. Like again, I just because I know I've been doing lots of consultants and swaying. I just
That
wanted
was
out of
kind
you.
of where I was leaning, but I'm
That's
happy
perfect,
to
that's
do whichever. Yeah.
That's fine. I think sway at this
Yeah,
point.
okay.
Again, and it's social. Of course, you're going to be talking a lot more. Just double checking.
Yeah.
I think we're going to come to the fight section in the second part
Yeah.
of this episode. Anyway, okay. I feel you're in a good position. Actually, I think you're in a very controlled position because you've done that flashback. There's all this sort of superstition of ghosts, and you've come in quite hard at that. So I actually think you don't necessarily need to roll
Okay.
necessarily. What I will get you to do though is do just a d6 roll, a fortune roll.
Okay.
And I'm just going to go about the effect is going to be. It's not going to be devastating if you don't do well, but I think that's what I want to, because I feel like you're in a really controlled position now. You've really
Okay, great.
honed in at this point.
It's a 4.
A 4, okay. You can see the bull sort of picky eyes, sort of like narrowing slightly, and sort of leans down to you. This big sort of round ball of a woman. She goes, "Have you've seen? Did you go to the tarot reader too?" Oh.
Just lift the veil up and go, I am the tarot reader.
No way!
And then just drop it again.
Whoa! Okay.
Look, you must listen to me. I'm not meant to say any of this. When you get in the ring, turn around 5 times over your right shoulder, sit down cross-legged,
Okay.
and close your eyes.
Right.
Good luck. You can change the future. And then she will just turn and go and walk to the side of the room and just sort of stand there in the shadows.
Absolute stats for you. I think that's great. Yeah. Well, let's leave it there for now. So we've got the setup fight. Right, people are ready to go into the ring and see the spark that's about to happen. But I think if we're okay, if people are feeling good, we'll go into the law drop. Sorry, I realise that's me still talking. Hooray! So, law drops are this little fun thing that we do on RP Geeks, where we thought we'll just break up and have a little chitty chat in between this just before we go to break. So the law drop this week, I'm doing it, which is hilarious.
All about
'cause I'm
boxing,
also
right,
running the
Fiona?
game. It's not about boxing, no. I didn't know we were going to go about boxing or wrestling. It's a new sport that's happening, wrestling, boxing, that we're doing. So I was thinking to myself, where we're setting this up. So the initial heist that you guys were doing, the sort of you were talking to this individual Baz. Their sort of thing is Crow's Foot, is the district, and I thought crows. Let's talk about crows.
I love crows. I love
That's-
crows.
That's topical.
That's how I.
topical.
Are there crows in Crow's Foot? Crows.
I for continuity reasons and to make it justifiable, yes, absolutely. That's probably the reason why I call Crow's Foot.
Good.
So we know, so people know what crows are. They're sort of loud and rambunctious, and they're also very, very intelligent. What's interesting, I found, is that crows are associated, and you guys probably all know this, is like a long history with them of fear and loathing. People fear them because of their black feathers, and they associate the black feathers with death, which I think is quite sad. The sort of noun for them, the collective noun, is a murder of crows, which I think most people will know. And there's different explanations about where this term has come from. And one of the tales I found, which I thought was really interesting, is a folk tale about how crows will gather and then decide the capital fate of another crow if it's acted out of character.
What?
So that's what.
Crows.
Like trial by crow.
Trial by crow, yeah. Obviously, the appearance of crows is like like an omen of death, because ravens and crows, they are scavengers. They will mostly eat. They'll eat anything, right? They'll eat rubbish. They'll carrion, all that sort of thing. And you usually see them around dead bodies and battlefields as well. That's where you sort of see them as they sort of circle around, a bit like vultures trying to pick up wherever they can. But yeah, to go back to, you said the parliament there. So we've got some really colourful and poetic names for groupings of animals. So obviously I said murder of crows there. Other ones that I found which were interesting is parliament of owls, We have an ostentation of peacocks,
Yes.
a knot of frogs, so KNOT, unkindness of ravens,
I
and
think
a skulk of fox.
I have some more on collective
am I here?
nouns. Oh, you're in and out a bit,
Go for
Fiona.
it.
But
Go.
I'll do. There's
Go.
I am remembering these, so apologies if I'm getting them wrong. So loveliness of ladybirds, which is nice. Is that right, or is it goldfinches? No, I think it is ladybirds. And the other one that is kind of debated, and there are different ones for it. But so if you have waterfowl, which can be a mixture of different kinds of ducks and I think geese, but like all different kinds, like terns and all that. One collective noun for them is a knob. Which
Incredible.
I just thought was really funny when I found that out, and a knob of waterfowl, and what there's another really otters is a good one, but I can't remember. I think it's a romp of otters.
It's a raft of otters, I think.
Oh, is it? Oh, that's boring. Romp's funnier. But
I like a raft though because they make little rafts together.
Yeah,
Oh,
because they hold on to each other. Yeah, I think that's why.
From chat, we've got a flamboyance of flamingos.
Flamingos.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Stunning. Of course, they're the flamboyant ones. Also, 2 people said it at the same time, so that's just wonderful that people who knew that. Talking of crows, I really like crows. I think crows are great, and I made a documentary about them recently. So if you wanted to watch my documentary, you should go to the Nature YouTube channel and watch the crow documentary, because I made it and I really liked it. And I can't quite remember exactly. No, I can remember. Okay, so the interesting thing in it, that my favourite bit about it, was they studied these 2 groups of crows from different parts of Spain. And in northern Spain, the parents keep the children, and the children just stay around. Like, they hang out with the parents, like, basically for the rest of their lives. They use that as their hunting ground. They just go and create new nests in that area. In southern Spain, that's not what happens. The crows just, after they're fully grown, they just bugger off, and they just go and find their own place. They don't come back to the parents or anything like that. And in northern Spain, like, the young ones will, like, help with the next brood. They will, like, help rear the new chicks and protect them and all of that kind of thing. And they wanted to know, and these are the same species of crow, so they wanted to know whether it was the same species, or whether there was a divergence happening, or whether it was nurture, not nature. Yes. And so what they did was they took 2 eggs from southern Spain and they put them in northern Spanish crow's nest. And when they like raised these chicks hung around as well. They were like, oh cool, yeah, we stay with mum and dad. So it's a nurture thing. So in northern Spain, the crows are just a bit nice. A bit well, is it nice? Who knows? They don't. Yeah, they're more family oriented. They don't kick them out the nest. So yeah, and that wasn't really the main bit of the video, and I wasn't really meant to go into it, and I think I cut a bit of it, but it was my favourite story from when I did the film. So yeah, there you go. There's my little crow fact that I really like.
Love that.
Yeah. Cool. Anyone like to add anything else? If not, we'll go for a quick break. And
I don't have anything on crows apart from they're rad. And all the facts I've heard made me think that they're radder.
When you see them
I was
up
thinking
close,
about the
they're
Tower of
beautiful.
London, but that's ravens, isn't it?
Ravens.
Not crows.
Yes,
Or corvids.
very
My
different.
brain was all on ravens. Yeah, I had the same thing.
Corvids in general, just great. Like,
Corvids are
we can
good.
expand to an appreciation of this. I'm sure there's somewhere in the Blade of the Dark setting with Raven in the name.
Another
It's a very
Raven
edgy.
Tower. Let's go. You know.
Yeah.
No.
and Jay
Canon.
Lake and Magpie
Jay Lake.
Parade.
Blue tits.
Oh, that is
just
quite
the
good,
club.
Blue
actually.
tit's
Let's
not
go.
corvid, Fiona.
Oh, sorry, my bad for not being a scientist. Naming
Just
birds at
go
this
to
point.
my
Have the
office.
Blue Tits Club in? Where's the Blue Tits Club? Which district is that in?
Yeah,
Well,
we'll
it's
get
wherever. I think it's going to be in Silkshore, obviously.
It sounds like it would be in Silkshore, yeah.
Next to that other club, the Blue-Footed Boobies.
I think we know what
Oh,
we're doing.
that's-
today
everyone
later
goes to
on.
that.
That's a different kind of club.
I feel like everyone goes to the Blue Footy Boobies, but actually it's Blue Tits is where you need to go to.
Blue Tits is up and coming, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, tell you that.
Right, we're going to take a quick break. We will be back here in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yell birds at each other.
Thank you all for being
Rose
here.
at
And we
Spoonbill.
will see how this fight goes later. We can all name birds. Okay, I like goshawks. Bye.
Bye. I'm guessing it's me because we didn't clarify before we went. Hello, we're back in Blades in the Dark. Thank you guys so much for joining us back. You've come back at a very wonderful time, actually. We have our wonderful Harriers, our vice dealers, a new crew. We've got and all sorts. We've got Cuff, who's sort of who's presented to us with the. Sorry, let me go back. Let me tell you what this heist is that we're doing currently. They are trying to get in favor with Bazos Baz, the leader of the Lamp Blacks, and he has given them 12 hours to sell some drugs. Hopefully, that should be fine. What could possibly go wrong? Through discussion, this drug Spark, which is a mixture of seawater and ectoplasm, it's a bit like an energy shock. It just gives stuff with some maybe unintended consequences. Cuff, our sort of our fighter here, has sort of talked about how there's a way that why don't we sell it at old Marlene's place? Surely they won't have a policy or anything because we're all mates here.
Policies.
Policies, man.
We're at the wrestling ring right now. I think well, I'm going to define it as the wrestling ring. Otherwise, we're going to have all sorts of blood sports happening right now. I keep thinking of boxing for no reason.
Freestyle fighting. They can do whatever.
Yeah.
We can do whatever. Okay, that's now canon. Thank you.
Mixed martial arts.
Mixed martial arts, MMA. Let's go. So yes, and so we're going to skip forward a little bit into the night where we see Cuff is about to go into the ring themselves, fighting off against a sort of match with the Bull, who had a very interesting occurrence with the Doll earlier, who maybe did succeed quite successfully in frightening this person about this could be the last fight, and ooh no. We go to Alistair, who's sort of been chatting up people at the bars, proclaiming loudly how he's looking for good luck charms, and sort of spotted out these individual sort of maybe weaker wrestlers that the Bull has sort of flitted off with no problems at all. And then the Doctor picking up these sort of strings, getting the other fighters to look round, maybe not so much to take the drugs themselves and buy them just now, but maybe to be like come back for repeat business, really getting them in the good steads with the Lamp Blacks themselves. Let's go back to the fight. Cuff, I just want to be clear, just so we know, are you taking Spark right now?
That's the question. Are you actually taking it or
Yes!
not?
Holly has been thinking about this. Holly's been massively thinking about whether I even need it, because I don't need it. I can.
Oh, you're such
You don't need it.
so
Okay.
cocky.
I could fight the
got one less
Bull
to
in
sell
my
if she
sleep,
takes it.
but I
Yeah.
do want to take it.
You do.
I do want to. It's not because I need to. It really isn't. I'm such a good fighter. It's just because I want to feel something.
Something. Yeah.
So I am going to go into the back of the corner of the club where I know people, they change. I'm going to quickly scout out the dressing rooms, the lockers, I guess. It's not like a theatre. The lockers and the green room, and
In the wings.
see if anyone's there. And I'm going to just find a quiet spot. I'm going to kind of like take off my jacket anyway, because I'll just fight in my white vest with my black smudges on my eyes. It's my go-to get up anyway, and I'm gonna just take out of the pocket of my jacket one of the vials, and I'm going to drink the whole thing.
You're drinking the whole thing.
No.
Yeah.
Why are you saying like that, Fiona?
Right.
You're supposed. That's how Spark works.
I don't even
No,
sniff
we
it. I
know.
just go
down
You
one.
knock
Have
it
to do.
back.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Right.
Oh boy.
It's been nice knowing Cuff.
Buzz. It's gonna be great.
Okay. I'm going to do something that's a bit unorthodox, maybe for deep cuts, but I think this is appropriate. I'm going to offer you now, Cuff, a devil's bargain. So, and just because I feel that you've done it, you actually, but again, just give me that moment because I appreciate you did it, and I very much appreciate it. But I want to give you this FYI. You will get an extra D6 in any sort of fight that you're going to have for any sort of role. Devil's bargain is that you will go into an uncontrollable rage and might not be able to stop hurting people.
Oh, no, my character hates that.
So that's why I just want to double check, because I feel I really love this move, but just because you were talking before about like, oh, do I want to, do I not? I just want to give you that now. So you will definitely have an advantage in the fight, you just might not be able to stop. That is the bargain.
Okay. And I know that I might not be able to stop if I take this.
I think so. I think with the doctor, with that flashback that we established, I think that information would be for everyone, that there's some unintended side effects.
And I might know that for me, that means I might not be able to stop. Oh, that's really
I would say
important
so.
to me.
That's why I wanted to double check, because I very much appreciate it. Normally I'd be like, yes, but I want to honor this properly.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go into the locker.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to wait until somebody comes in. And I'm going to, like, put my jacket up and pretend to drink something.
Nice.
Put it back on and put it back into my jacket.
Okay.
So it looks like, to somebody I didn't really get proper, like, eyes on, it looks like I've had this thing.
Love it.
But I know that I'm
worlds.
sober and healthy.
Okay. I like that. Again, I think it feels more in keeping.
Can't lose
again.
control. I won't lose control.
Yeah, that's
I
why I wanted
want
to double
to,
check.
but I won't. I will not.
That's good. Okay. I feel for this. I feel this is a risky thing, because obviously, as we've all heard, there's a policy.
It's important.
Don't know why it's so funny to me.
Right. I really like it. I think this is. Again, I don't want to. I feel like this is more of a consort as well. Well, consort or sway. Again, you're trying to persuade people. Perhaps maybe you're doing it sneakily. Again, describe to me how do you think you're doing this? Tell me what
I'm
action
doing it in a way.
Yeah,
this is a good question.
I want to double
I'm
check.
doing it in a way to kind of deceive more than anything, I guess.
Yes.
It's not out in the open. It's not deliberately persuading. It is more, I guess, almost like a kind of sneaky move.
Sneaky move. Okay, well, in that case, here we go. Finesse would be better for this, because there is a subtle misdirection. Okay. So you're going to try and do that. I'm going to tell you right now is that the consequence for this is that people are going to say, like, oh, you see you taking drugs, and will alert the relevant authorities, and maybe I will start a clock to indicate the Bluecoats might come and find you later.
They're my least favourite.
Yeah. So what do you have in finesse?
Oh, I have nothing, of course.
Great. This is perfect. So this is an example. So you can always roll an action. I'm never going to be like, oh, you can't roll something. What happens in this case is, if you don't have a dodge, you're going to roll 2 dice and take the lowest. Okay. So just roll and hope for the best. You know.
They're both the same. And that's a 2.
Would you like to push yourself at this point?
Yes.
Is there anything we can do at this point?
I think no.
Okay.
I think unless there's a way we can flash back or anything like that. That's the only thing I'd say. Let's do the
I
push
think
yourself thing first. Yeah, I think that's key. So yeah, pushing yourself. I think in this scenario, just so I've got it up. This is a prowess stuff. So you take those abilities. So on the line, you see how many dots you've got in there. That's how many dice you're going to roll. So how many dice are you rolling for prowess?
I've got 3 in prowess.
Okay, that's fine. So yeah, you're going to roll all those, and then just let me know what the highest number is.
Okay. Do I
And what
take 2
this is-
stress?
No. So this is what I was going to explain.
Oh,
So
I
when you
see.
push yourself, depending on what dice number you get, you will take a number of stress. The higher the dice result, the less stress you're going to take. But you manage to reduce that consequence, basically. So this is what I'm saying is that the person will see you taking the drugs. They may not be convinced that you're taking it, but they're not going to suddenly be like, I'm going to report someone taking drugs. It's like it's a very reduced effect. Someone's going to see you do something, but it might not be as effective what you're trying to
Okay.
get them to do. So that's what I'm saying here.
So I roll 3 dice, give you the highest.
Give me the highest, yeah.
All right, roll in. 6 is my highest. 2 6s and a 3.
Woo!
2 6s. That's pretty good. Let me just double check. I think that's really good, actually.
Does that mean you get an edge?
You do get an edge. Thank you for reminding me.
I was reading about
bit like
edges before
Spark,
we went
but
live.
it's edge.
Mechanics.
Mechanics. So yes, 2 6s means you get 0 stress from this situation. So you've absorbed that thing. So again, you sort of like maybe fumble a little bit. So like it's like you get your cloak and dagger thing, and you go it's not graceful, but you don't drop the spark significantly. The people see you like with it. But they're thinking you're a bit weird in that sense. But yes, because you've rolled more than 1 6, you get something called an edge, which actually means you can do 2 things. You can increase, let me just double check, you can spend it right away to add greater effect to your action, or you can carry it forward as a bonus die on a future roll. So it's up to you. So maybe you want to, again, change it so that they do believe you at this point. Maybe you're switching it back on yourself. It's a bit more elaborate, or you could keep it for the fight, maybe.
I am going to make it so that they believe me. I'm so
Perfect.
confident in my ability as a fighter.
Okay.
Let's go.
Yeah. Great.
Let's go, Cuff.
Great.
Come
So
on.
yeah, you take it. If anything, you sort of like, you're sort of fiddling around with it, and you almost drop it, and then you go, and then you just put it in your mouth completely, but without swallowing the bottle. It's tiny, tiny vial. You just go, and the person looks at you and is like, "Holy shit, that's so badass!" And then just,
They eat glass.
and then you just go, "Whoop," and bring it out completely intact. You haven't taken any. Perfect. Let's go quickly to the other folks outside, outside of the locker room. So where do we see the good doctor, the doll, and where are you together? Are you a bit more positioned about? It's taking the scene a little bit here.
I'm very much not standing with anyone else from the crew right now. I will go stand in a different corner. I want to be on the side so that I'm looking at the side of the ring. I want the bull to be able to see me in the crowd if they're in their corner.
Oh, I love that. Yes, absolutely. So yeah, you and easy enough because you've seen them before. So yeah, easy enough. You can sit. If anything, I'd say the doll. People do not sit next to you. It's a sort of aura you have. I think. If anything, I think what you do.
Why?
Maybe you do that thing where you like, there's room for one more at the seat next to you, and people go, absolutely not. And so that you're given a little bit of a buff. It's not like obvious you're there, but it's like definitely like people can see you on that front.
I think
I think that's
she's
good.
fine with that.
Perfect. What about where? What are we thinking? Where's where in this?
Where's where?
I know.
No one knows. I'm a shadow in the dark. No, I'm not. Not today.
Today.
Everyone
right now.
shouts, "Where's where?"
Where?
I think
Yeah.
I assumed that Cuff was going to take the spark.
Perfect.
So
yeah.
I'm also very confident in Cuff's abilities, but mainly because I
Yeah.
think they're on drugs.
Okay.
And mostly because he's confident in everything.
So I would quite like, as just
Okay.
a little side hustle,
Yeah.
I don't got any coin. I would like to be persuading other people to bet on Cuff for me,
Ooh,
and
amazing.
to give me a share of the profits.
You've got a hot tip and you're giving it to
Yeah.
the other people. Like, I know
Yeah.
this person. I love that. I think it's great. What I would say to you is that you personally do not have coin, but the crew still has 2 coin still. So
We
what I'm
did
gonna
not
say-
let Alistair know this. As far as Alistair's
Flash-
aware, we have
flashback.
nothing.
Say.
Flashback to the meeting 4. We don't have coin. We've got to do this without thinking of coin. Flash forward. Right. Alistair doesn't know we have coin. Perfect. Okay.
Damn
That's
it.
fine. No, that's fine. Because what I was going to say was that, yeah, you could easily persuade people by putting down some of your own money, the crew's money, and spend 1 coin. But I think we'll go for it like that. So what are you saying to people? Like, again, you're going to each individual table of people. Is there anything that you're particularly saying? Just, again, for flavour, and we'll go for the roll there.
I think I'm gonna look for particularly well, finely dressed people, and
Okay, yeah.
explain. I'm out at the moment. I've got this amazing tip, and I can't make use of it. But you look like someone who appreciates a little bit of insider knowledge.
Yeah, so you're sort of very, very ominously looming over these
Yeah.
people.
It's
Okay.
I want someone to benefit from this, and maybe you could see your way to
Yeah. I appreciate this is more socialized, so there's a lot more swaying than fighting. But yeah, I think this is a sway. It sounds like you're doing a sway rather than commanding people to put bets on for you. I would say as well.
You know
I
what?
think-
Actually, I might
Yeah?
not. I'm going to change my
go for
mind
it.
slightly. I'm not going to
Perfect.
ask them for a share of the profits. I'm going to do it out of the goodness of my soul.
Okay.
I'm just going to try and really persuade them. Be like, I'm not gaining anything from this and all that. I am going to try and rob them afterwards.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do, because I really like this, and I think it's going to tie into your ability. Is that these people have sat at this. The well-to-do people who come here quite often have seen the bull crush quite a number of wrestlers up until this point. So I feel
The
like
odds
it's
are
not
good.
it's not a risky move. This is a desperate move, and I think this helps you in some way, doesn't it? You've got an
Yeah,
ability that does you.
I'm a daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
I get an extra die when I do desperate moves.
I am. I think that's great. So yeah, so we'll do a sway. will get that desperate thing up there, because it is desperate. What I will say though, the standards of success do change a little bit. Desperate moves it's a 6 or nothing. And what I'm going to say, the consequence, if you don't, the consequences for this is that people go, oh, someone's trying to stage this fight. Someone, and so therefore, again, the ruse will fail.
Yeah, this is Alistair's just like, wait a sec.
Someone's trying to pre-book the match. Absolutely.
I can make some money on the side here, and he's not really thinking too hard about the consequences.
That's fine. That's okay.
Side gig.
Little side gig. What could possibly go wrong?
I've got 3 little dice in my hand.
Now she said it.
Yeah, just
My
the highest
two
number.
sprays and my
It's got to be a 6 though.
All I need is a little 6.
All we need is a 6.
I got a 6. 6, a 5, and a 1. Oh, having a 1 doesn't make any difference, does it?
No. But no, the highest number was a 6, and it was a desperate action. Very good. Alistair is in his element. You are just whining and dining. I know I said it before off recording, but that idea of Mickey Blue going, hey, like sort of going over to people, oh, I've got a tip. And of course, people are a bit affronted at first, like this gentleman's just come over, and you say the names like, I think the bull will have a tumble tonight because of Cuff. And you just go for it, and people are eating this up, this drama that you're creating. You start weaving almost like WWE-esque storylines coming into it. And so what I will say, Cuff, when you come out of the fight, not only is there a lot more, your odds have not improved so much, but like the people are definitely betting on you more, but also you have a fully attention audience. They are ready to go, so you can feel that sort of lift. And so what I'm going to say is that you will have a greater outcome as a result, because people are rooting for you. It's not going to help you fight necessarily, but it's got that outcome, so people are on your side already. So good job, Ware. I think that was really cool.
You're muted, honey.
The good doctor. What is your thinking in this all this as the fight is about to get underway?
I think the doc, Arison has positioned themselves directly at the side of the ring, so that they are amongst the fighters. They are looking like they're supposed to be there and in a position of authority, and are sort of there on hand should Cuff get into any sort of bother, or if anything kind of needs to be in support.
Sounds good. What I would say, Doctor, as you're sort of looking around these sort of people here, you notice that there's a lot of eyes now, like lots of people talking, chatting, getting that excited feeling. I think as you sort of look around, you notice at the top, there are definitely some individuals here that you would probably recognize from where you originally sort of like were working before you sort of came into this crew life. You suddenly realize that there's a lot more of your maybe old associates here. Maybe they're having a work outing, and
Oh no.
Team bonding day.
what I would say,
Team building day. Yeah.
you are aware. I'm gonna create a clock now, which is that you will get recognized if things come up. So you just suddenly you're just clocking, because you're looking around, you're seeing you're concentrating on your fighter, but you're like, maybe you left under a bad cloud or something like that. But I'm gonna put down a 4-segment clock, and that they will recognize you, and if they recognize you, that's bad things for you. Just now. Is there anything you like to do to
Fine.
respond, or you're just gonna be chill about it?
I'm gonna be chill about it.
I'd like to hear.
Let them look.
All right. The lights in the lantern lighter shine down. We have the spotlight come out, and the bull is already there. They've already, they're sort of cleaning off, looking out. Every so often, looking to where the doll is, and then looking back. Yeah, the horrible as a wave. It's like, oh. And I would love, Cuff, can you describe your entrance to the ring?
Yeah.
It's wrestling.
I
now.
mean, yeah, it is now wrestling.
It's WWE now. Let's go.
Marlene knows my fighting days well. I haven't fought for her for a very long time. But she knows my entrance. And as I burst out of the locker room, like the door really hit the wall, and the walls shake, because even though it's underground, it's haphazardly the boards have been put up. Marlene has a drummer start to drum as I make my way out, like down the pathway from the locker room to the ring. I've got my tapes on, and I kind of keep my pose with my hands in front of my face, and I kind of glower with my eyes. I've got this kind of really dark kohl makeup just covering my eyes, almost like a little mask. And I just glower, and then I look over the audience, and then as soon as I get into the ring, I walk all the way around the ring, not looking at anything, take the corner opposite the bull, and it's at that moment that I fully focus on the bull and just stare daggers, blades, if you will, in the dark at her from the other side of the ring.
The show in the show.
And
roll credits. The end. No.
I put my arms once I've given her a good 10 seconds of focus. I put my arms over the ropes.
Yeah.
And just like take in what I imagine is rapturous applause.
Oh, they are eating it up. Yeah, Alistair has done such good work as a result. Everyone is like getting in it, and you can even see, like, again, just off the side, you maybe can't see her fully. You see Marlene watching, and she's like sort of like nodding, like looking around at the crowd. You've done really good work. Like, people are here watching. The bull sort of looks to you, looks down a little bit. Again, she's a little bit taller, and so she gets to the ring, and she sort of like holds out her hand for a handshake to show that she's ready.
I look at her and I give her a real genuine smile. Most genuine smile.
Yeah.
I have a huge respect for athleticism and for athletes. This looks like an athlete to me. And I take her hand firmly, give it a squeeze, a friendly squeeze, but firm, and shake her hand.
Excellent. And you feel it as it happens. Her hand wraps around yours, and only you can hear this. She goes, "I can change fate," and she's going to throw you instantly. What do you do to get out of this if you can?
I've been thrown a lot before. I know exactly how to land.
Yeah.
As she throws me, I shift the weight in my legs and get ready to land on my shoulder so that I can do a little tumble and get up.
Amazing.
Can I also add to that?
Yes, please.
As she throws, if the bull looks up at the doll, the doll will just do like little circular motions and then point down at the bull with her finger.
Amazing. I love that. I'm going to go to yourself, Cuff. So I'm going to ask you to make for me a skirmish roll for me, please. I think you've got a greater effect. You don't get more dice for this because the people are on your side. So instantly, as you're being thrown, you can hear "oh" as people go, "Oh, this is so unlike the bull," that sort of thing. But clearly, she's been quite spooked. If anything, that's sort of like, no. She's like, yeah, and just trying to throw her off a little bit. So roll your skirmish, please. Yeah, and
I have 2 in skirmish.
2 in skirmish. Okay.
Oh, I have a 3 and a 1.
Okay, so you can feel, you shift your weight, but it's not enough, and she sort of throws you to the ground, and you see the ground incoming to you. If you do not push yourself, I'm going to make you take a level 2 harm, which is a dislocated shoulder. All that is with harm, again, I'll just say this is very different to Blaze in the Dark. There's anything mechanical. It will just reduce your effect. There's something like, it's not going to be anything particular, but just to let you know, you will take that damage coming in.
I'm going to push it because I think this has motivated me to go, okay, bad person, not sportsmanlike. I'm going to kill you in front of these people.
Amazing. All right, do a prowess roll for me, please.
Prowess. 3. That is a 3, a 4, and a 5.
5 is the highest. So you only take 1 stress as a result. So what happens is, I think as you roll, you can feel the shoulder is about to go, but you just sort of roll out of it, and you sort of hit your hand hard, taking all the energy out onto the floor. You do not take that harm, but you do take some stress as a result. So not bad. Really well done. The fight starts to continue. We'll sort of do a quick montage of that. I guess taking from you, Cuff. What we're going to do, obviously, a roll at some point. But I think with the other 3, they will be assisting you in some way. So I just want to know from your point of view, what are you trying to do? The bull is going to try and go toe-to-toe with you. She's not letting up.
I think what I will want is at some point somebody to distract her, probably at a key moment. If she's not letting up and she's the kind of fighter that is relentless and stubborn, I think I'm going to need someone to distract her at some point. And I think the other thing I'm going to need is I'm used to getting hit. I quite like getting hit. I don't have a problem with that. My problem is going to be if this isn't worth it. I can't do this every night, and I can recover eventually, but I need them to believe that they're going to want whatever I'm on. So I think that hype is going to make a big difference as well.
Interesting. So you're sort of waiting for a moment where you might just go, in Fiona's words, Super Saiyan, and and then like, oh, that's because of the spark. Okay, interesting. We'll go to the people on the edges of the ring again. Like, what are we thinking at this point? How are we? You know that there needs to be this moment that happens. What are we thinking? What are you guys gonna try and do to help?
Just what the doll said earlier. That's all. Just the eye contact with the bull and the twist your finger and sit down.
So you're focusing on the bull a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. How about you? Felix?
I think the doctor is kind of amongst the other fighters and is kind of just like almost like commentating like to themselves, but in a bit of a sage whisper, and saying, "Wow, I haven't." Basically, sort of talking about how, wow, I haven't seen reflexes like those from anyone who's not on Spark.
Nice. I like that. I like that a lot. I think it's because you're not. I think you're just saying it. I think you're really analysing this fight coming on. So it sounds to me like a study. You're sort of trying to check in and see what the fight is going from that. Like you're trying to like, oh, they did this. Oh, that's because of this bit in Spark, etc. Yeah, that's what I was going to say from that. Okay.
Yes, absolutely fascinating. Yeah. The synapses through her brain, exactly what I would expect.
Yeah, just let's do that roll. Let's do a study roll for me, please. Let me know what you get.
Oh, that's a 6 and a. No, it's not. It's not. I looked at it's the bad bit of the dice, not the one. It's a 4 and a 1.
Okay, 4. So yeah, you have mixed success. People are like listening into you, but because you're not using the jargon of like, oh, that was a really cool suplex, etc., or whatever the jargon is, you're sort of being more technical in terms of like this, that, and the other. They're half taking it in, but they're definitely. No, but like they are taking in what you're saying, but it's kind of going over their heads a little bit, so it's not as a bigger impact as you think. Going
cerebral.
Yes, you're just like typical, you know. They've got no brain cells at all because of all that fighting. What are you thinking at this point?
I would like to get the crowd a bit more vocally on side and have that maybe start to bother the bull a little bit.
Oh, what are you thinking?
Well, I think I already know who has money on Cuff.
Yeah.
You know, I know kind of who is already kind of quite highly motivated, and I'm going to get a little bit more vocal and try and get some, get people to join in with the various like reaction sounds.
Are you starting something? Are you like she's cheating about the bull, perhaps because she started, she did start with a unsportsmanlike thing. Like, is that what you're thinking, or are you trying to drum up support for the Cuff instead?
Both. I wonder if there's something more specific. Okay, so
yeah, that's why I want to double check.
Let's say, because we were talking about the rivalries. Let's say I invented an entire backstory for Cuff and the Bull.
Yeah.
Yes. And what the backstory is that they were orphans who grew up together on the mean streets, and one day,
Come on, Shamini, you know lots about wrestling storylines.
Yep. Cuff stole a loaf of bread.
No, not Les Mis. We didn't say Les Mis.
Les Mis, not wrestling.
No, it's wrestling. And a mean inspector was trying to get at them, and the bull was
a runaway cart.
Yes. No, the bull ran away, didn't help Cuff, and got really famous. And Cuff was like, "Please, I just want some bread."
I think
I ate the stuff that I stole. And the bull was like, "No, there's a whole story. Okay, it's for them were singing. No. It was very. It's like,
I was singing bread. Yeah,
yeah.
I think we know the songs.
Look down.
Look down.
Exactly.
Yes. All right. Here's what I think. Right.
Spark in its multitude.
I think you're seeing this happen. You're like, I need to do something big performance pieces. You created this storyline in your head.
Yeah.
And I think you're like, loaf of bread, loaf of bread. You know, and you're getting the crowd on
'cause
side.
we all know the story.
We all know the story now
the bull
that you brought
and
up.
Cuff.
And
They
Cuff.
don't
It's
know,
like-
but,
This is going to
fine.
be a command roll.
I love it.
This is going to be a command roll. I don't. What I'd say as well, don't forget about your loadout as well. If you've got anything in your equipment that you would like to use at this point, you absolutely can. But don't worry if there's not.
I'm
You brought a
supposed to be
megaphone, right?
I'm like a sneaky. I've got the lock picks in my cloak, and I'm here being like,
That's
loaf
fine.
of bread. Doesn't
yeah. No, that's fine. I was just double
Right,
checking.
Thank you.
So roll your command.
I,
This is just this is a risky thing because you've already built up this thing. You've already managed to succeed on that desperate move from before, so it's
Yeah.
just a risky.
I've got nothing in command.
Oh, so you're gonna roll
take the
2 and
lowest.
then take the lowest, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whew. Yeah, it was a 6 and a 1.
Oh no, lowest.
one.
Oh no, no.
Lowest.
No, no.
So,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't say what the consequence was before you
yes.
rolled, so that's my bad. I will say that again. As you start to shout, people are like thinking you're disruptive. You're like, low for bread. Oh, bloody protesters, honestly. And again, you can see like security coming towards you. They probably are going to throw you out with that one. Would you like to push yourself?
No.
No. Okay. So you are gripped up, and you are. I would say you get level 1 harm at this point. Again, sorry, I need to give you these consequences before we do it. You just get roughed up. Your appearance looks very dishevelled as a result. Maybe there's a split in your suit a little bit, and then you are pushed out. You are no longer in the wrestling ring, unfortunately. Doesn't mean you're out of the story, but yeah.
I don't
You're
think
like, loaf of
Cuff
bread.
really need. I think Cuff can do without
Okay.
the bread help. So
Okay.
Bread help.
The doll tried to join in, but chanting is not the doll's thing, and the doll was just like, loaf of bread, loaf of bread, sort of looking around at no one near her saying
No
anything,
one.
and then just went, I will stop now. Okay.
So, let's come to the crux of this. So I think from all that sort of, you know, your friends haven't necessarily created a moment necessarily. What I will say, the doll is still pointingly looking at the bull, who keeps looking over and is distracted. So there is a bit of effect there, but there's not like a moment where you're like, this is the time.
They don't
I
do the
think.
spinny city down thing that I told them to do
Doesn't look like they have actually. No.
Yet.
yet.
Not
They
yet,
might be in
not
trouble
yet.
soon. Well,
Yes.
I'm gonna turn to the bull and I'm gonna say, all this bread talk, this crowd's on a roll. Am I right? I'm gonna see what she does. I imagine nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. She's like,
Fairly
what? And she's gonna go in for another punch, another so to grapple you and try and take you down. She's like she's focused on. You see, she's almost driven at this point. So you do your puns that we find them hilarious. The bull does not. You hear a little giggle from the spoon on the side.
That was for you, Spoon. That was for you. I'm just working the crowd. I think what I'm gonna do then
Yeah.
is I'm basically, my idea in doing that is to essentially make it look like I'm taking it less seriously, make it look like I'm a little bit out of it.
Ooh, I love that. Yes.
But what I'm actually gonna do
Yeah.
is I brought something with me, and can't quite know what it
Yes.
would class as.
Go for it. Let's
It might be
yeah.
armor. It might be an unusual weapon on my character sheet.
Okay.
But what it is ankle weights. These little ridged ankle weights that I've got. I want to do a Rockley, and I want to pull the little tab on them, which means the ankle weights fall off, and suddenly I'm lighter and stronger now than I was before.
That's
I've been just sparring this whole time, and at that moment where she doesn't laugh and she goes for me, I just want to lean down, take off the ankle weights, and fly. Basically, really be ready to fight. Now the
you know
fight
what?
really starts.
I really like that. I don't
Really
think it's
fun.
armor. I feel. I'm just looking at your sheet. I feel that this is an unusual weapon, perhaps, because you're holding yourself back. So yeah, if you make a note of that, and you just you do, and you suddenly get back. I really like that. I think, in that case, I think we'll do another roll. We'll do another. I think. It's either going to be prowl or skirmish. Skirmish, I know, is your best one. I think skirmish, because you realise now that you've been holding back, and you're like, okay, and you subtly do this, and to go for it. And I think she's taken it back as a result, and you're gonna get an assist from not only the doctor, who's like going, oh my god, look how quick she's going, to just the doll's presence being there. So you're going to get an extra d6 to your pool. You're also going to get a reduced, an increased effect as well. If this does not go right, the bull will grab you and pin you, and you will lose the fight. That's what I'm going to say here. It's quite. This is quite a risky thing you're doing.
All right.
Mm.
Okay.
Come on,
3 dice.
Okay.
2, 4, 5. So 5's my highest.
5 is your highest, so it's going to be a reduced thing. So, you go in for the swing to grapple, and you sort of collide both together. Her eyes are locked, not on you, on the doll at this point, and there's a tussle, and so you're not in a perfect position to do it, but you're not taken to the ground. So you're in a better sort of consequence. I guess I want to check with you. Do you want to push yourself, or I can give you a devil's bargain at this point? And I will say devil's bargains can be for anyone around the table. People want to bring someone in. Is that if you choose to push yourself and you take this devil's bargain, no matter what happens, you will not be able to fight for a while because you will take a little bit of damage. But you will. No, hang on. That's not a very good devil's bargain. Let me take that back. I think what will happen if you take this devil's bargain, which will give you help you. I'm trying to think of this. Sorry, it's devil's bargain is a bit different depending on which system you go to. The devil's bargain is, no matter what happens, security will be involved. I think there's clearly something's up. Like the bull is acting very erratically, and so there maybe there's going to be another. The Bluecoats might be informed. So I'm going to start another progress clock for them. That's what I'll say. It's a little bit better.
Okay.
Yeah. And if I push it, does that still happen?
Tell you what, it's an either or. I think you can't do both.
Yeah. I think
we got on that one.
I'm gonna push it. My feeling is that I might not be able to pin her. I've not got quite the hold on her I want, but I'm imagining that we're face to face.
Yeah.
I've gone for the grapple, but I've not managed to grapple her, and instead I've wrapped my arms around her body.
Yeah.
I'm going to attempt to lift her up over my head and slam her down on her
very
back on the
cool.
mat behind me.
All right, let's do that prowess. Roll this prowess for me, please.
3, 3, 2.
Can we flash back?
3, 3, 2.
Oh no, it's too
Yeah.
late.
Do you want to do a flashback?
I was gonna say, can we flash back to training with Cuff, where the doll is not involved in but is like just going, okay, and so could you just move that bag of flour? And Cuff is lifting up these really heavy bags of flour and just sort of throwing them backwards. And the doll is like,
these muscles.
it's very impressive.
Yes. I like that. Okay, so the doll takes 2 stress. I'm going to let you add another d6 now. So you've got 3 as your highest so far.
Yeah. So am I rolling for prowess here?
The prowess, yeah.
So with 4.
You just roll that.
I've got
Just
3 in
roll that
prowess.
extra. You've already got 3 as your highest there. So
Oh,
just
I
roll
see,
that
just roll the
extra d6.
extra.
Yeah, don't worry. It's all good.
3, 3, 2. 3.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
So glad I spent that stress.
They do not like it. So you're going to still take some stress. It's going to be quite a bit of stress. Let me just double check. Push yourself. Stress.
These
Okay, you
traumas,
take-
because they might come in soon.
You take 3 stress at this point.
3 stress, okay.
Yeah, it's significant. You do manage. I'm going to say, because I quite like what you're doing. You do manage to get her over the top, but it is straining. You don't think you're doing anything to show off spark at this point. You are. She's a little bit above your level. You're not winning this fight, I think, unfortunately.
Taking that spark.
Should have taken the spark.
But then I might have killed her.
You took the spark.
Okay, so I've got her on the mat, but not pinned. I'll probably go
Yeah.
for the pin, then she kicks out.
Yep. I'm going to
I
open it up to the
think-
floor. Yeah, what are
Yeah.
people thinking? Go for it.
Do I have a weapon with me, maybe? Maybe I have knuckle dusters.
You
I'm
can
gonna
have a
really...
weapon. You've got a weapon. You can bring a weapon with you.
This is dirtier now, but I know I'm not
Yeah.
going to win fairly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like my pride being tested, so maybe I unwrap the
Yeah.
the tape, and underneath it some knuckle dusters.
Okay. All right. You see her. She's in a prone position just now, and you're just quickly doing it, and you're just going to go in, and
Inside the head.
you're going to
You were
up
so
inside the head.
noble. You were so noble.
here's the thing. So this is a desperate situation. You've got, so it's going to be a 6 on a thing, but what I'm going to say, you've got your things. So this is going to be skirmish plus a d6 for your punching thing. I think as well. It's desperate. It might have a reduced effect, we'll see. But I feel like the consequence for this is that people definitely know something's up, and all of you will be taken out, and the mission will have failed as a result.
I'm tempted to do something really stupid.
I think
What are
do
you
something
thinking? Go for
really
it.
stupid.
Go for it. Go for it, Lou. What are you thinking?
Do it.
I'm tempted to either, they're both stupid. I'm tempted to either, because normally like coaches and stuff can cause a sort of like a timeout and stuff, isn't it? In a fight. So I'm tempted to get a cause to the fight, and I'm tempted. Because I've studied the effect of spark, so I reckon I know that Cuff hasn't taken it.
Yeah.
Yes, I think
So I am tempted to surreptitiously give
drugs
a shot of spark. But my stupid decision is, do I give it to Cuff or to the bull?
Cuff.
Well, here's the thing. Sounds like a flashback, right?
Because I'm thinking, if it's Cuff, then obviously
which one would the doctor do? Which one? Just go for it. Which one would the doctor pick at this point?
If I give it to Cuff, they're less likely to
Which
get
one
hurt.
would the doctor do? Don't worry. Which one would the doctor do?
I'm going to give it to the bull.
You're going to give it to Bull. All right. Let's play with that scene.
Then they will because then they will hopefully pay any consequences of breaking the policy.
Sure. I like that. Let's frame this up quickly.
This is good.
You will get. So you take 2 stress. What happens? We flash back a little bit to earlier in the evening. The doll has finished their conversation with the bull, and the bull's like, "Weird." It turns around. You're there.
Yeah.
And then, how do you frame it to give this stuff to the bull?
I'm going to say, apologies. There are so many policies now. Pre-match health check.
Oh.
And make a bit of a show of looking in her eyes, watching her pupils, testing reflexes.
Her nose is very
else.
broken, but it's nothing you can do about it, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then I'm going to say, and we have to take a blood sample.
Okay.
And just pull down your shirt, please. I'm going to take it back so we're behind where she can't see it, so she can't see that I am putting something in rather than taking something out.
Yeah. I'm not going to make you roll for it or anything like that. I think this is very.
I love that
you're very
Holly
controlled.
was going to drink it, and you're like, no, inject into the veins. Let's
No, well,
go.
this is the
It's so
plan.
good. I
think because the doctor would know Cuff is quite strong. Like, even though they fight and stuff like that, they wouldn't. They're like,
love
oh
it.
yeah, I'll do this. So I think
is
that's
great.
great. So, all right. So you'll take that stress, Doctor, 2 stress for that. Okay. So I can't remember. So you rolled your thing. You still got 3. You got the stress. What I'm going to say is that the fight is over, because what happens in that moment, as soon as the bull lands on their back, it's almost something like they feel the pain that comes from the area, as if they've given something, and their eyes go wide. And you're very close to them, Cuff. You see like horrific sort of like lines, so those red lines up there, as they go really red-eyed. And they sort of go and they grab you, and I would say you don't get this damage. You've already sort of pushed yourself, so you're already sort of bracing for this as you were sort of going over stuff, so you don't get the harm that comes in. But if you hadn't done that, you definitely feel like, again, this sort of like crushing ability as this person is crushing you, the strength about them, and it takes all of the other competitors to pull them off you, and everything is in chaos as a result of this. And there is like sort of chat and like exclamations about like, oh my goodness, the like what happened to the bull, etc. What I would say is that from this, there's a clear disregard for policy at this point.
I've always
From
cared
the
about
ball.
policy.
Yeah.
No.
I've always cared. I would never,
Yeah.
However, it
So-
did make for an incredibly entertaining fight.
It was so entertaining.
But this is the thing. I feel that Marlene does not go for the drugs. You maybe meet up with her afterwards and she's like, that was such a risk. We could have really damaged stuff. However, the punters that Ware talked about has brought in quite a lot of extra sort of like buzz to the place. And some of those other fighters that the doctor was talking to, like, suddenly saw what happened to the bull and make the connection a little bit. And so they, whilst it doesn't sell for possibly as high as it could do, by the end of the night, the rest of those vials, those 4 vials, are sold to the other competitors. Not for us the same high price, but you do manage to do it.
All right.
So,
As the doll walks past the bull, they won't make eye contact, but they'll just sort of just whisper, "See, you changed your fate," and just walk straight past
I
them.
changed my fate. Widowshins. Yes. And the door sort of shuts on them. So that is the end of the heist for now. We've left a little bit of time to do some downtime stuff. But first, of course, we must do the payout. Now, I'm going to go through these things a little bit by little bit. I'm not going to do all of it because obviously it's very boring to see me do admin on stream. But let me find my notes. So,
Come out of the fighting area, you do find where sort of like lurking in an alley, looking kind of dishevelled, hiding from the punters who he hyped up Cuff to. Just like making sure.
They're all there with like loaves of bread ready to throw them at you.
Yeah.
So first things first, we're going to assess how much heat your crew makes, the Harriers make. Okay. So do we think this was a smooth, low exposure operation?
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
To put it like that. Fiona.
No, I don't think so. I think this is a standard operation. It's nothing too strange. So you currently have 2 heats. Just make a note of this for now. The target, was it a high profile or well connected target? Not in the sense of like you were stealing from them or anything like that. I don't think so. Did we have open combat, destruction, and or mayhem?
No. Maybe a little.
That was-
Maybe a little
fighting.
bit.
I don't remember.
It was organised fighting, though. I will say, and
Organised
I would say if it
It
had
was
just
a
been
fighting
a fight
club.
fight, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to add 2 for that. Did a death occur in connection to the score? Thankfully, no. Were there witnesses that can be questioned?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
So is that 6?
Possibly,
now,
possibly more importantly, do we think any crew members were identified? I would say from my clocks, no. No one spotted
Okay.
the doctor. The doll was just very creepy. Alistair wasn't roughed up for money afterwards. And Cuff, obviously, it's that sort of thing where Cuff, you might be known, but it's not like identified.
It wasn't
in relation
weird
to, like,
that Cuff was
They
there.
don't know
In
who
a-
I am.
in a
they
Harrier's
just know who Cuff
context.
is. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you have, for this mission, you've got 6 heat that I'm going to add to your crew sheet. So just keep an paying at that. The payoff. So this is the money you're going to get. So again, keep an eye on this. It was going to be 10, but unfortunately, because you were only selling it to a slightly lesser client, not one you own, you only get 8 coin as a result after you get the cut from Baz. You also get 3 rep as well. Reputation.
And that's good.
Yes, I would say. Good so far.
That feels good.
Yeah. All right. First things first, in terms of questions I have for the team. You are currently at tier 0, and the ward boss, the Wraiths, is slightly higher than you. And usually they will take a cut of any money you make. I would like to know, are you giving any money to the Wraiths to pay them off?
We could give them like 1, couldn't we?
We could spend it, or we could spend it, or we could keep it and spend it.
I will tell you what for every 4 coins you earn, you need to give 1 coin to the ward boss.
We
You do
don't-
not have to pay it.
We don't have the choice to give them just 1.
It will be a reduced thing, but our clock will fill up.
Because if technically, mathematically, if we earned 4, we gave them 1, that's 5 coins. So then we've only earned 3, so we don't have to give them another 1. I'm pretty sure that's how maths works, right, Doctor?
Seems
I think we
perfectly
only earned
reasonable.
2. unfortunately. It was a real bad.
Oh, and actually, if we all take our share, which is 2 each, that means we earn none.
Are you giving them any money?
Given us like, yes, but mechanics.
Are we
everybody.
giving them a sheet
don't
of
have to-
calculations?
I think we learned today that I'm a really good fighter, and I don't think we need to pay them.
All right.
Did we learn that? Because you did lose.
I think we learned that I'm
We're not.
unbeatable.
The wraiths still haven't been paid. I'll just make a note of that. Thank you.
God, we're going to die.
Fiona will remember this.
I always remember this. Okay. Great. Everything else in terms of crew stuff we'll keep off stream for now. Let's go to your downtime. So each of you will get to do 2 things. One is reducing your vice. So some of you have got lots of stress, and you would get rid of that by indulging in your vice. And then the other part of this is your downtime activities. There are 4 that you can do, and we can go through them. They are, let me just find them. We have we have acquire, so you would acquire an asset, recover, train, and work. What I'd say, any level 1 harm that you have goes away at the end of things. Anything higher than that, you need to go and recover for it. So your disheveledness wear is gone. You can get a new suit. That's not a problem on that front. And you can do these in any order. If you want to do your vice first, we can do and frame up that scene, or you can do your downtime activities. I'm not fussed either way. Does anyone have an idea of what they would like to do?
A downtime
I have a
activity.
vague idea.
I don't know.
No,
good,
it's okay.
'cause I don't-
Okay, Lou, let's go to the doctor. What are you thinking?
Sorry, can you just I do know them, but
That's okay.
remind me of the other thing. So train is, and we've got an instructor, haven't we?
Yes, you have an instructor. Like, you've got a connection to somebody that will help you get better at stuff. Basically, we're going to do some XP stuff. Oh, maybe I should do that. Have I done that? Maybe not.
I'm just a bit because I haven't done this before, so
It's
I'm just,
okay. Don't
yeah,
panic. It's all good.
I'm
It's all
finding
good.
the page in the book.
You use
Like
this
the
activities,
idea of when you say instructor, I think it was like a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Like, we've got someone who's coming in being like, come on, drink the protein shakes and
Zumba time.
We're all like doing Zumba.
That is true. I remember that. We've not done XP. That's why this is not making any sense. Oh, let's do XP very, very quickly. Sorry, that's my fault. We're going to mark XP. So I'm looking at. I'm going to do your crew one first, because that makes sense to do so. Where is
For
your
people
crew
in
sheet?
chat, have you played Blades in the Dark? Do you understand this system? We are learning
know what's
as we go.
We are all learning. It's all good.
I do like it.
yeah.
I enjoy the flashbacks and it being sort of so open ended with the flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. So at the end of a session, yep. So this is it. We'll mark 1 or 2 XP for if that occurred. So did you acquire a product, execute sales, or secure character? You did
Yes.
do sales. So and I think you did. You get 1 XP for that. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? You absolutely did that. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? Yeah, you did. Did you express the goals and drives and inner conflict and nature of the crew? Yes. So you're going to get 4 XP on your crew sheet. So that's going to fill up 4 segments of one of those clocks. In your character sheets, you'll also have that thing as well. So you mark XP whenever you do a desperate roll. So when you've had a desperate roll, make sure you've filled in one of those, one of the segments of the clocks.
I think I did next.
And then I'm looking at Cuff's one just now. Did you embody a core nature of your playbook? I think
Being
so.
fighty? Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I did. I was very
I think
fighty.
so.
Hmm.
I think that's good. Did you express your beliefs, heritage? So I think that's all you've got from there. And the same thing for the others as well, the other playbooks. I don't think there's anything different. Did you embody?
I don't think I did. Do you think I did? Do you think me talking, being a bit weird and creepy counts
that
as
count?
being whispery?
Yeah, what do they mean the core nature?
Yeah.
Because I would say the core nature of my playbook is talking to ghosts and demons and things, and I didn't do any of that.
Is it the bit
okay.
that says it next to the... Because mine says cutter, coercion and violence.
Yes.
Oh, where does it
So I
say
think-
that?
right,
sir?
yeah.
It's right next
Right.
to the top bit there. Yeah.
Mine says knowledge and arcane power. I pretended to have arcane power.
I think you did. You scared the bull. I
Okay.
think I'll give you an XP.
I definitely was trying to use the like I'm a creepy arcane-y person.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay, I'll get so I think I only get 1 there.
That's fine. Yeah. So just put in a segment there. Doctor.
Mine is technical skill and mayhem.
You definitely
And
got
I-
technical because you injected
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah, and I would also argue that my research into
Yeah.
the stuff to tell Alistair was also
Yep.
technical.
I think so. Yeah, I think you get an XP for that for sure. And then
So is
Alistair...
that 2 segments of one of the 4 clocks?
Yep, correct. Yeah. Basically, 1 clock is 6, essentially.
Yeah.
Alistair.
I was supposed to use stealth and evasion. I was chanting about bread.
I think... Yes, unfortunately, there wasn't anything particularly that was stealthy about it. Yes, unfortunately, I don't think there's anything like that.
Stealth and
sorry.
evasion. Loaf of bread.
Loaf
of bread.
Loaf of bread.
Whenever I make a rogue in any game from now on, I'm going to find a way to get them chanting loaf of bread.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go back through the activities then, just because I've got it now. So so you have 4 activities that you can do during downtime. The first one is acquire. So this is like you want to gain temporary items, services, vehicles, stuff for your crew. This is like basically you're planning for your next things. Like, oh, this will be useful to have. For example, if you didn't have a doctor on hand, you could be like, right, we want to hire a doctor, and every time, just so that we can heal any wounds if we're going in fighting and stuff like that. And so you would just have access to that person or that service there, and we can just describe what that is. Recovery is basically if you've taken a lot of injuries, which aren't related to stress, so you've got that dislocated shoulder or anything like that, then you would just recover a certain amount of your health. Train, this is where you would spend XP to gain advances for your character. You need a full clock to do so of that front, so that's why we have those different clocks on there. And then you would describe a montage. The thing with the instructor thing that I was going to quickly talk about was that you have access to a rank 3 instructor, which means that you can get up to 3 dots in a skill. If you don't have that, you have to acquire them first, so that other downtime activity first, and then use them. And then finally,
acquire an instructor. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah. Correct. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. So you'd have to spend that first. The work one is basically if it's a simple project or side hustle you want to do to get a quick coin. If you're thinking of like maybe a long-term project, if you want to find out more about the district, maybe some other connections you can make, that's something you can do there as well. And then the separate thing is that vice, where if you want to indulge in your vice, that doesn't count as one of your downtime activities. It's a way to relieve stress and whatnot. So those are the sort of
and we
things
do
you can do.
2 of
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count as a
Sort of
downtime activity.
So, no, it's 2 separate things. So you have vice on its own, and things. That's what it says in deep cuts.
So we do vice, and then we do 1 of the other activities, or we do 2 of the other
2.
activities.
2.
Okay, great. And can we do 1 of them twice?
Yes.
Or,
the 2 of the downtimes. Yes, absolutely.
Does anyone know what they want to do? Because I think I've got an idea, but I haven't quite formed it in my head yet.
I know one thing I want to do, and I might just do it twice.
Go for it then. So your downtime activities, Doctor.
Because I also I think Arison is a kind of focus. This is the core of my attention right now, kind of person anyway. So Arison is going to basically start a long-term project.
Yep.
And that long-term project is going to be around the effects of recreational drugs.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So they're going to write up some notes about what they observed today, sort of field notes about Spark, and sort of have a look at the books in the library. We haven't talked about the lair at all, but the lairs in a blooming library.
We've got a library lair.
Yes. So yeah, I'm gonna have a sort of cross-reference with other things, and just basically, I think it will make us more effective vice purveyors if we have more drug knowledge.
I like that. So yeah, long-term project to find out the full, the full effects of Spark. Like I know we talked about like you've come up with some things, but actually to go into the depths and details so that you know what amounts are safe. Whether it's just like you take it via the mouth, or do you inject it, all that sort of thing. I like that. What I'd say, this is an 8-segment clock, and because you have a workshop in your lair,
we can make it ourselves. I know a lot about it as well.
Well, exactly, yeah. So you can find out more about it. But yeah, you've got a workshop in your lair, so I'm going to actually add a +1 to that. So it's you've already filled in 2 out of the 8 for that long-term project currently.
Lovely, and I'm going to do it twice, I think.
Perfect. Then you have halfway there as a result. Because I think you're in the workshop. So yeah, that idea that you've got your books, you're writing down. You're actually probably drawing these these drawings that you remember, almost like thing, and you're trying to work out and like lots of little diagrams and stuff like that. Absolutely. Perfect.
I think Arison shuts the door on the basement workshop and
Yeah.
locks it and just goes full on hyper focus.
Yeah, you're in there you're in there all night as a result.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else want to do their downtime activities or their vice? We'll come back to the doctor to do vice in a second.
For downtown, downtime activities.
Yeah.
Can the doll start working on a new ritual or finding the source of a ritual?
Absolutely. What are you thinking?
She wants to try and find a ritual. Again, kind of, and I don't know if it will tie in with the Good Doctor, but around the electroplasm. And she is trying to uncover a ritual that will allow her to extract electroplasm. No one freak out, from still living people.
Okay.
Not freaking out, perfectly normal.
Don't freak out. It's fine. It's totally fine. She's just trying to do a thing. She's got a thing.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. That sounds
so
good.
she'll do that for one.
Yep.
No, I think I'll just double down on creating that ritual.
Cool. Describe it for us. Like, how are you doing this? Are you doing it in the lair or are you doing it outside?
Outside the lair.
Yep.
She'll maybe use the lair to read anything that there is on electroplasm in the library. But then following that, I think she will go to Morland Hall of Unnatural Philosophy. And she will start attending some of the classes around, more focused around the sort of electroplasm and how, and it's not. So she knows the Good Doctor is sort of looking at the biological,
on the body. Yes,
makeup and
absolutely.
things like that. She is more interested in the link between the supernatural and this substance, and exactly what about it. Like, does it exist in a soul? Does it exist in a ghost? Does it exist in a demon? Like, what's the makeup of this? And she wants to be able to, like, have it on its own.
Yeah, no, I love that. I think that's good. It's going to take a bit more time. I think you've got to be out and about. So you're not in the workshop as a result. So you've filled in, if you're using both of your downtime actions to do that, 2 out of the 8 segments. I think that's really good.
8 segments for it. Okay.
Yes, 8 segments. Yeah, absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Great. No, brilliant. Cuff or wear? What are we thinking? Oh, we can't hear you, Holly.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh, we can now.
You were quite quiet. You were quite quiet for a second, so.
Hello,
Yeah, I've
you're
got
here.
you. Sorry.
okay. I'm confident I know what to do. I want to go and indulge my vice.
Oh,
and feel
amazing. Tell us what your
relief
vice
and
is.
stress. My vice is letting people beat the shit out of me, and just getting out of my head for a bit. That's my vice. I want to quieten down the old brain, and the best way I've found to do that so far is letting people just take swings until I'm ready to take them out.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to head to my normal fighting ring. And just let some people have a go until I'm tired, and then swing and defeat them, basically.
Absolutely. So when you indulge your vice, you need to spend 1 coin, but then you will clear all of your stress as a result. If you
how
have
many
more than
coins?
6, if you have more than 6 stress, you will overindulge and suffer a complication. I don't think you've got more than 6 stress.
Are we all
No,
splitting those 8 coins between us?
I
So-
assume you're going to. This is
Yeah,
probably a good chance
cool,
to talk
great.
about it now.
I'm happy to do that. So we've got 2 group coins, and then
2
we've all
each.
got 2 as well. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
All right, I'm going to spend one of my 2 then.
Yeah.
And I roll a d6.
No, have you got more than 6 stress?
No, I've only got 4.
Then you don't need to. Then you don't
Oh,
need to. It's only if you've got
perfect.
more than 6. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much, Fiona.
Yeah, it's all right. So you take those punches. You feel like, again, it's that sort of thing, because it was quite tough, because you were given quite a horrible choice to make, whether you take the spark or not, and you chose not to in the end, and it almost cost you a lot for the team. Your high morals cost you a lot more, and it was only thanks to the Doctor, who had that backup plan. And I don't know how you
And
feel
no
about it
morals.
necessarily. Well, no morals at all, but I don't know how you feel about it. This sort of almost like, as if the Doctor knew you weren't going to do it. It's already backed it up.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that sits with you, but you definitely feel it punch after punch to feel something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where? Just to check with you, my friend. What are you thinking? Do you want to indulge your vice, or do you want to do some downtime stuff?
You're muted, Shams. I think. I cannot hear you at all. There you
Oh,
are. Hello.
there you go.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good.
I would obviously like to indulge my vice because
Excellent.
it's eating food and that's a great thing to do.
I
But
love that.
I
Yeah.
would like to do a little bit of work first just
Of
to get some
course.
extra coin to
Yeah.
spend on my
Yeah.
vice.
Yeah.
So I feel like I have just a little side gig doing
Yeah.
just like very minor, easy burglaries. Like I'll rob
Light-fingered
rob
activities.
quite
yeah.
rich people, but I'll
Yeah.
only rob like their garden furniture and like things that are outside.
That's very easy. You can easily run
in
down the street with
Shamini's-
some garden furniture.
Hang on.
In
Wait a
Shamini's
minute.
downtime from crime, she's going to do some
more crime.
more
Yeah.
crime.
Just a little bit of extra crime.
All right. No.
crime.
Hang on. I'm
There's
not letting this
no policy
go.
against it.
I'm not.
I
no,
got
this-
shit
no,
about this in my podcast about my downtime activity being doing more crime.
Yeah. Everyone else
It's
takes times
work.
off. Where is all
job.
about crime 24/7. Okay.
Just
Let
want
me just.
more
Sorry.
money.
I just wanted to
All
clarify
crime
because you
all
said
the
something.
time.
You said stealing garden furniture.
I did say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did.
Now
Shamini
that-
Bundell,
now
you
that-
did make
yeah.
that choice.
I see now why people don't lock their garden furniture away in case of theft.
So here's the thing. So where your lair is in Six Towers, it's
Yeah.
like an older district. It's a bit crumbly brown. So you're right. The garden gates, they're not necessarily locked. You can easily scale stuff. And I think, again, I'll obviously leave you up to do the actual details, Shamini. Absolutely, you will make some money from some light-fingered activity, so you get an extra coin. But also, I think you just have, like, there's a moment where maybe you come back, everyone else is sort of like in the lair in this underground abandoned library, and you're just there with a garden gnome and a flamingo.
Oh, where did you find them?
I've been acquisitioning supplies for our interior decorating. I just think we ought to be living in the luxury which we deserve.
Right, and you think that's with flamingos and garden gnomes, do you?
It's what the posh bit. It's what us who appreciate the finer things in life think is attractive. Look at this. Holds up. No.
Yeah, it's one of those gnomes that's clearly got their trousers down and like, ooh, a little bit of bum.
It's
So fine.
It's sophisticated. It's aesthetic.
What's it made
No
of?
doubt. It's quite light actually.
Yeah.
Plaster, I think.
You
Is
spend
this
some
at the
time.
early hours of the morning?
Yes. Absolutely.
The doll is not sleeping, and Ware just comes in and finds her just staring.
Look, maybe you would prefer this fine flamingo. Why don't you decide where it can go?
She takes it and just sort of looks and goes, I will. And then just sort of puts it directly in the centre of the lair and goes, I'm going to call it Kevin.
Lovely. Look at them glassy, beady, unmoving little eyes. You know, you could be siblings with your creepy little face. Anyway, you and Kevin, I'm going to take my gnome elsewhere.
What's your gnome called?
My gnome is called Delia Smith.
Delia Smith.
Yes.
Interesting. I'll remember
What?
that, Ware.
Why? What? Are you being creepy at me? Are you doing the little you doing your little I'm a bit creepy? Are you being a bit creepy?
I'm not creepy. I think you're creepy. I think Delia Smith is exceedingly creepy. I wouldn't have it anywhere near me.
How dare you talk about Delia that way?
Kevin
Ow.
doesn't like Delia. He told me.
You've made 1 coin from selling illicit garden furniture.
Head your way
You've
from
also
Kevin.
you've also gained a Kevin, which is now canon. It is in the middle of this library, it's next to books, and wherever Delia Smith goes, I'll leave it up to where. But yes, you make a little bit of racket in terms of getting some nice seats. Maybe that over time, this library actually gains more of those lawn chairs and stuff that have been let out.
At this moment,
Yep.
Arison is going to, what, it's like 3 in the morning or something, is going to emerge from the basement into the main foyer of the library, kick over a garden gnome, and leave out the front door without acknowledging anyone.
Well, they won't enjoy that,
Because,
will they?
I mean, they know these shenanigans, and they're not. Nah.
You're
do
wise
not
to
approve.
wear schemes, absolutely. Yeah. Just before we go on to advices for the doctor, did you have another downtime activity? Where?
Spending money on food.
All right.
I don't actually have any stress to get rid of, but
That's fine. That's
I
fine.
like to
Yeah,
pass it.
absolutely. What I'd say, how about this?
He's easy breezy.
I feel maybe you could acquire something. So yeah, you could pay a coin, and I feel that what would happen if you want to get money, like maybe you get a really nice takeaway or whatever you want food-wise. But it means that you go in and you'll remind me this for next time. When we do that entanglement roll for the next thing, you actually get in because you've actually well slept, well fed. You've really gone to make sure everyone's feeling good. So just remember that. I'll give you an extra die for that entanglement
that's
roll.
great.
If you pay a coin to do it, to acquire these good foods, you will get an extra die next time.
Yes, okay. I'm gonna go to one of my favourite restaurants, and I'm feeling good. I'm gonna splash out on everyone, getting nice food for them. Cuff, I know you must be disappointed that you're shit at fighting. It's a hard reality. You got a face.
I think I was
Possibly.
unlucky.
Yeah.
I think your opponent
Next
was on
time.
drugs.
I agree. Unfair fight.
I believed in you, Cuff, but now I realise I was mistaken. But we'll get you there. We just gotta buff you up a bit. So I've got you some meat. Here, have some nice meat.
All right. As Ware passes me it, how far away are you? You're really close, right? Because you passed me a piece of meat.
Have some meat.
I'm just gonna give you a gentle punch on the arm, like a friend would. It's gonna have a little bit of extra sauce on it. Just a
Yeah,
little
you feel
extra
it.
sauce.
Absolutely.
You're right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ware. I'll work on it. Cheers.
Oh dear.
Yeah, you do that.
Cheers for that.
Nice. I like that a lot. And yet, yes, you, if anything, you do a very lovely thing where, in the fact that, because you did try a big gamble and tried to get all these other people, punters, they lost money, but then they gained, the actual fighting ring gained money. So actually, Marlene did quite well out of it.
Marlene's alright. Marlene's
Yeah. But what I'd say is that with this food stuff, it actually makes a good impact with everyone here. Like, so that's where that sort of thing was. Because you didn't have to indulge your vice. You felt like maybe for once where you thought about somebody else. Rather than doing your own side hustle. Who knows?
I'm lovely.
Just checking with other people. So it sounds like everyone's done their downtime activity. Was there any other vices that people wanted to do? I know Ware didn't want to do the doll. All right, let's go to the doll and then we'll go to the doctor.
Yes. I would just like to drop in on Duskvol Academy, and I will sit in on a lecture, and I will just write out some notes that I will hand over to the professor at the end of the lecture, and I will just sort of turn to them and say, "For Father."
This person's demeanor as they've been lecturing, obviously very passionate about the various things, and as soon as you give this these little notes over in very, I think, like very beautiful cursive, like immaculate writing, their face completely changes. And they take you in fully, and you go, at once, lady.
Thank you.
Hope you are well.
I'm fine. Thank you. And she'll walk out.
All right.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
Pay
I don't know what it means.
pay a coin and
Yeah.
remove all your stress.
All of it goes.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. We're getting rid of that diceless mechanic. That we're using diceless mechanics for this. We're not rolling for stress on this.
I
So,
love
yeah,
it.
You pay a little bit, you lose it all. So yeah, it's, if anything, you really enjoy the dulcet tones of this person as they're very passionate about stuff. You're like, this is nice and quietness. You know, like that sort of like a library. Again, that feeling of people just quietly talking and they're just doing ASMR. That sort of thing.
I absolutely do love that in real life, so that's fine.
I know, it's great. Sorry, the doctor, did you say you were going to sort your vice out as well?
I certainly am.
Mhm.
So the doctor is going to go down to the riverside, where on one of the pontoons is the Silver Swan pleasure barge.
Mm-hmm.
And on the deck is the proprietor, a Mr. Eldrin Pritchard, who gives them a nod and then casts off. And as they descend below the deck, they go to some pegs on the wall that contain sets of keys for different rooms, and they select one almost without looking, and proceed to an unmarked door. And inside the room is a silver is a steel table that has a figure lying face down with a hood over their head.
Okay.
And they're waiting prostrate, and they are shirtless, and lying face down on the table. And as they hear the door enter, the door open, sorry, they visibly flinch and then relax. And on the far wall of this room is a collection of various whips, flogs, paddles of various descriptions and sizes. Some have various other accoutrements. And Arison says, you will count to 10 and you will say thank you after each one. We will flog today. And they pick up a flog from the wall, and the figure on the table tenses, and Arison brings the flog down hard on their back, and they yelp and then shudder and say one thank you, and they bring it down again, and it fades to black.
Fades to black on that. Yes, you can pay 1 coin and relieve all your stress. I think, we sort of fade back out of this sort of barge, this pleasure cruise that sort of ascended off, and you can hear sort of various cries and similar things happening from other rooms as we zoom out. And before we end today's session, I'm always that sort of person that likes to do a little bit extra, because I am. We'll do a GM scene that no one else is there for.
Oh, what? It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Right.
Everything's fine.
Your contact, Lydra, right? She's the one that sort of got you into this sort of mess. You can see, we see her sort of locking up for the day. She's had a good old time. You know, she feels good with the appointments and setting people up. She's a big fan of like putting people together. Really appreciates that. And she starts to walk home. She's got her coat on, a bit of a hat as well. The cold is coming in. It's well, I say go home. It's really early in the morning at this point. It's the same night still. And it's just past the hour of smoke where the fog begins to shift once more. And as she walks, she passes an alleyway that she always passes, but she stops and looks down. And it's the strangest of sights that she sees. For she sees in the middle of this alleyway, which is a dead end, in the middle of it, not standing against any wall or in part of any wall, is a door. A door with a handle and a little bit of glass in it. It looks like a rose in stained glass, like light coming through it. She pauses and looks and sort of like goes, "Hello? Someone left a door out? Some sort of street performance?" She goes to like a side a little bit and look, and she can see like the door is standing. There's nothing behind it at all. No one holding or hiding. It's just there. Hello? The door opens. Ajar.
No. Ooh, bad.
And fog starts to come out of it at quite a pace. Starts to encircle her. Oh, these magicians are pretty slick. Hello? And a voice, very far off, comes from the door. Watson, come here. I need you. Watson, come here. I need you. Hello? You're looking for Watson? Watson, come here. I need you. All right, I'll be a part of this trick, I guess. She goes to the door. In her hand, we see sort of a cut of the hand going to the handle. And she touches it. And she's gone. The door shuts. The fog continues and fills our screen as we end this session of Blood and Fog. A Blades in the Dark story.
Watson, Fiona.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Watson, come here. I need you.
Yeah.
When the TARDIS arrives.
It's gonna be all of them.
Well done, everyone. Your first Blades in the Dark session. Really well done. Thank you for bearing with me with some of the rules and stuff like that and taking our time with the downtime, but I think
We're
got
processing right now, Fiona. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I was just wrapping up because it's past 10, but okay.
So well done, Fiona, for a beautiful,
That was great. That was really good.
Session.
That ending, oh my god. My brain.
What the hell?
I'll leave you to think about this. Are you okay? Is everyone
Our
all right?
Discord chat is going to go mental.
Good.
Right. Okay, cool. Wow, that was great. We've done Blaze in the Dark, episode 1. This is episode 1 of 6. So we will be here for the next 2 Tuesdays following this. Then we have a week off where we will be playing Blood on the Clock Tower. You know Blood on the Clock Tower. You love Blood on the Clock Tower. We'll be playing it. Then we have our final 3 sessions of Blades in the Dark. Fiona, do you want to say a little bit about Blades in the Dark and the version we're using, and then we'll lead on to some more announcements?
Absolutely, yes. So, as we've seen, we're using the Deep Cut supplement, which basically is just sort of trying to streamline a bit of the pieces in there. As we've noticed, like we've been using the threat roll rather than the action roll. We've been doing slightly different things for the downtime. We're not rolling for stuff, just because it's a little bit easier in terms of like for these folks here who are brand new to playing Blades in the Dark, but also for you guys at home as well. And we just want to get to the narrative. So whilst it seems a little bit more like me checking in and stuff like that, and certainly with the Devil's Bargains and stuff, which is always good fun. And I'd say to the players as well, you're always welcome to add Devil's Bargains to people. It's not just for a role; it could just be in general. It's good fun. So yeah, that's the sort of things we're doing. But as we can see, Duskvol's got plenty of different things. We've got obviously ghosts, we've got unusual paranormal activity, but we've also got vices in terms of these dens. You know, we've got drugs, we've got all sorts. So it's one of those games which I think. I say speaks to it. It's very different. It's a different kind of role playing, and I appreciate other players. There's a lot of cognitive load in terms of like going and being creative. But I think all 4 of our wonderful players tonight have really smashed it. So yeah, I mean, I know we're not doing Stars and Wishes on stream, but like, absolute kudos to our wonderful scoundrels for giving us a good 4 hour. You know, again, for everyone out here, this is the first time quite a few people are actually seeing Blades in the Dark. So good job, people. Really good job.
Well, so the reason I asked you that question, just to get you to mention deep cuts, was literally because I was trying to do a segue.
Segue.
It's
yes,
a clever segue. Basically, if you want to check out the Deep Cuts book, you can. It would be, and if you look at the front, there are some names of like acknowledgements and with thanks too. And we didn't know this when we asked this next person, the person I'm about to say, who is joining us next week, to join us on stream for Blades in the Dark. But we've got a guest next week who is acknowledged in the front cover of
Yes.
Blaze in the Dark Deep Cuts. So we have a special guest next week joining us for one episode and one episode only, and that is Josephine McAdam. You might know her from, oh God, so many things. She's been on the Glass Cannon Network doing their like original Blades in the Dark
Blades in the Dark,
series.
yeah,
She does a load of Call of Cthulhu stuff with Chaosium. She's on the UK tour they're about to do of Call of Cthulhu, going around the UK playing in front of live audiences. You might have seen her on Chaotic Neutral with me. You might have seen her on vague NRB stuff with me and Holly. There's lots of stuff you might have seen her on. She's lovely. And they're going to join, and we're really excited and also a bit scared because she's played it a lot and
Knows the rules.
knows the rules and is in the book. Her name is, it
And
says,
is in
with
the
thanks
book,
to
yeah.
Josephine McAdam. It says it in the book. So she will be here next week, and I'm very excited about that. And yeah, so do tune in for episode 2 of Blood and Fog, a Blades in the Dark story.
Gonna be very exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then, anyway, moving on from that, we're all over the socials. We're at RP Geeks D&D everywhere. You can find us on Blue Sky. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on other ones.
Threads. Instagram.
Threads, technically. TikTok, technically. We don't post on them, but we are. But basically, Blue Sky and Instagram. They're your two, really. And YouTube. Hey, if you're watching us live, you're watching us on YouTube, please click the subscribe button and the little bell one. That's nice.
And the
It makes us
Discord
feel
as
good.
well.
And then we have our Patreon, where you can find out behind the scenes things. We've got our session zeros for this game up there, where you can find out how we came up with our characters. You can see that Shamini changed the name of her character. Although actually I don't think that was in the, as you know, you're forgiven because that wasn't in the Patreon.
Good.
We just have to make
It's
another
like,
graphic.
you just have to tell me the name. And then I was like,
like,
this. And then
no,
she made a
but-
graphic, and I was like, what about if it was?
What if it was a different one?
What was that? No,
And
yeah.
then it said Shamini Bundell is where? And that made me laugh.
Where?
But yes, if you join at any paid tier of our Patreon, you have a chance for a shout out where we will put you in the world. And so it is that time again, folks. I'm going to open up the Patreon unless
So I've got it. Don't worry, I've got it already.
Fiona's there.
Okay.
What dice do we need to roll? A 12, maybe?
It's going to be D12, but I wondered if one of our guests would like to do that.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd happily. I'll always roll a d12. You kidding?
Yes.
D12's a great
Sorry, I
dice.
should have told people, but yes, it's a D6 game, so you don't have all
It's
the
a
dice with
D6
you.
game, but you do need a D12 for our Patreon shout-outs.
I mean, you can always. There you go. You're never more than 6 feet away from a D12. That's
Damn
what I
right.
say, yeah.
In my house, that's very true.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, it's nice. That's
And that's not a D12, though. That's a
It's
D10. Never mind.
Come on, Holly. Holly Musgrave, ladies and gentlemen.
As in
That's
Holly
the one.
Musgrave and
There we
Lou's
go.
got one as well. All right, well, we'll do Holly
you
first.
do
Can
one
you
each,
roll...
yeah.
Can you roll a D12? Let me know what you get. Re-roll a 12.
I've got a 5.
A 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have Keegan.
Keegan. Who
Keegan
can
Amrin.
Keegan be? I mean, someone's got to be one of the fighters. Maybe,
Well, I
like,
was gonna say what's
we've
got
got to
to
give Keegan a
on.
fighter name, right?
Or are they a new fighter?
A new fighter. Maybe the knife rather than the spoon. And they were, like, best friends with the spoon. But they were, like, the really, like, fighty one. Like, you know, they were a bit aggro, a bit angry.
because they met the fork and they were like hanging out
Knife
more
and-
with the fork.
Oh, no.
And then the spoon was like,
The knife
oh,
and the fork ran away.
Well, you went and made it sad. I was gonna say that
Sorry.
the knife noticed the spoon was their wingman with the noodle and facilitated
become
the
a-
spoodle.
Well, it was a good breakup, right? They broke up with the spoon, but then it was okay because they were like, you know what? We still support each other.
Still friends, yeah.
I think Keegan was the one that splashed out and got all the spark for the rest of the wrestlers then.
Oh, wow.
I'm
Okay.
on drugs
Oh,
now.
you're a
Thanks,
drug
Keegan.
dealer.
Slashing and
Keegan. There you go.
There you go, drug
Congratulations.
dealer.
Yay!
Lou, go for it.
Lou,
please.
go ahead.
All right. Ooh, that's a 9.
9.
9.
Nicholas Munro Turner.
Nick
lovely
Munro
Nick.
Turner. Where can we put Nick? We've got someone in the fighting ring. Where else have we seen? Not. He
saying
owns the gnomes.
The gnome owner! The gnome!
he comes out and he's like, "Oh, lovely day here in Duskvol. Where the fuck are my gnomes?"
gnomes.
Comes out in the morning to pick up his newspaper and his pints of milk off his doorstep, and his whole garden is empty.
Yeah, this is like little gaps, little bit where the grass is like completely, go down where the gnomes are going. It's like, oh no, they've escaped. Oh.
I don't know why I've decided
Gromit,
that's Nick's
no.
voice.
Someone took me gnomes, Gromit.
Oh no.
Oh, gnome.
Oh
no.
Yeah, there you go, Nick.
That was
You
good,
are-
yeah, that's very
there
I'm
you
sorry
go.
that Ware has stolen your gnomes.
Yeah, I feel a little bit bad now.
So,
Incredible.
so yes,
There
if
you
you
go.
would like to be put into the world of Duskvol, this is how you do it. If you go to our Patreon, it's patreon.com/rpgeeksd&d, and if you subscribe at any paid tier, then you will be put into that list for a chance to be put into our world. If you should subscribe at, I should have this number in front of me, but I don't. I think it's the £5 or $5 tier. Then you get access to all of our behind the screens and things like that. And then there are some other tiers, but that's the main one where you get access to sort of all of
Yes,
the
that is,
extra content. So that's the one we'd recommend. But yes, thank you for being here, and thank you to our lovely guests.
Thank you,
Yay.
yes. Thank you for coming up.
Thank
our
you for
channel.
having us.
Lou, who are you? Where can people find you? Tell us about things.
Hi, I'm Lou. You can find me on socials. Again, it's Blue Sky on Instagram. That's what it is. At I am Lou Fryer. You can find me popping up on various bits and bobs all over the internet. You can find me on my podcast of Dice and Them, where we have an 11 episodes of Blade in the Dark, not deep cuts, so you can see how the rules used to be.
Yeah.
And compare it and contrast it and hear us rolling dice and arguing about things a lot, as is our want. But yeah, go check that out, and I'm excited for next week and Josephine and everything else. It's gonna be great.
And another happy birthday to Lou for spending
Happy
her birthday with
Happy
us.
birthday! Let's happy
birthday.
birthdays in chat, please, chat. Thank you.
No more singing.
No more singing.
Unless it's like little Les Mis interludes, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Go
more
for
of
it,
those,
Holly.
if anything.
And Holly, who are you? Why are you here? Tell us about yourself.
My name's Holly. I like games.
Yay.
I'm here because I like games. You can find me at Holly Likes Games on Instagram, and more recently on Blue Sky as of like last week. I put it off for ages because I was stressed about that. Just the idea of sitting down and starting a new social
A new
account.
one, yeah.
But I'm also
Yep.
on Twitch, and I primarily stream on Twitch at Holly Likes Games 13. Streaming next on Monday, where it looks like I'm going to be playing Zelda again. Actually, I was going to be playing one, but it looks like it's going to be the end. Actually, the very end of Tears of the Kingdom. We might finish Tears of the Kingdom on Monday.
Oh, exciting. That's
yeah,
fun.
but yeah, so you can find me. Thank you for having me, guys.
Oh, thank you for being
Nice, thank
here.
you.
Lovely stuff. I'm looking at Fiona and Shamini. I think that is everything.
Oh yes.
Is
that
there anything else I
superb.
need to talk? We need to talk about? Or
I mean, you don't need to do any more
great.
bird lore drops. I think we're done. I think we don't need to do any more, just saying. But if you want to,
bird
you can.
I
Yeah.
need to find a bird fact. Find a bird fact quickly. I can't think of one.
Well, Lou's got their feathers. They've got their.
Just amazing.
These
Just
feathers
some
are awesome.
beautiful feathers.
Look at those gorgeous feathers. Which is
well,
no context for the streamer talks. We talked about it off stream. But
Yeah,
you know
that
what?
was-
I like the fact.
You know,
Yeah,
what?
I just got-
Serious
I
good
just- I
feathers.
I just always have feathers on me. It's just
Yeah.
something about me that you just gotta know.
Amazing. Well, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to everyone watching. If you're here on YouTube Live, hello, welcome. It's now. If you're watching in the future, hello, it's us from the past. Is it better
the
now?
past.
Have they fixed everything? Please tell me they fixed everything. And we will see you next week at 7 p.m. on YouTube for episode 2 of Blood and Fog, a Blades in the Dark story, apparently featuring Sherlock Holmes. Okay, see you soon. Bye.